Buff Nation, what up? BWB, that means my bandwagon buffs. Welcome to TLP Sports Club. You are watching TLP live on Monday night. So welcome to Monday Night Football. We are on a trial basis. We are going to try this for a little bit, all right? But welcome to Monday Night Football. We're going to be talking football on Monday nights, at least for now, all right? Try a little bit to see how it works out, see if more people are going to be watching, who's going to be watching, because the daytime show was very successful, all right? One of the hottest shows on the internet talking the Buffs, all right? Controversy, everything in between, football, controversy, whatever. We talked about it. That's what this show is all about. It's giving you an opportunity to voice your concerns, your opinions, whatever it is about the Buffs right here at TLP Sports Club, okay? I am your host, Harry Billion, all right? You guys have been asking, and I had to listen. I'm like, listen, you got to give the people what they want and what they're looking for. You said, hey, why don't you do a night show? Because people with careers, they have to work. So if you're doing a day show that starts at 12 o'clock Eastern time PM, all right, right around lunchtime during your work day, that means that it's 9 a.m. on the East Coast, on the West Coast. So a lot of people had a little bit of issue with that, but even with that, the show was still successful. We have people who were working and they were on the truck delivering packages, throwing UPS, Amazon packages. It was a great time. We had a great time talking Colorado sports, Colorado football. So now I get to try it on Monday nights instead of doing the day. I try it on Monday nights, and let's hope that gives more people the opportunity to be able to call into the show, which the number is right there on your screen, guys. Or not the number, the email is right there on your screen. All right. So if you want to join the show, if something pricks your ear, you've already had dinner, hopefully. I know some of y'all eat late, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're African and you got to come home and cook that. You know what I'm saying? You got to cook the goat meat. Goat meat takes a long time to cook. The cow skin and the African food takes a long time to cook. So some of my African fans will probably haven't eaten yet. But for the most part, you Americans, it's 7 o'clock on the East Coast. So that means you're probably like, you know what I'm saying? I would say the West Coast people are getting off of work or are on their way stuck in traffic, and they're probably listening to me where to listen to it on podcast, because I think YouTube has podcasts. I don't know. But if you are listening to me in the car and you cannot comment, I understand. When you get home and you rewatch this, say, Harry B., I was listening to you in the car on my way home. I was stuck in the West Coast traffic, and you made it easy for me. You made my ride home easy. Please excuse me. All right. Got a little bit of phlegm in my system. The family caught a cold on the weekend, and we're getting over it. I'm telling you, health is going crazy right now. But I love it, man, because tonight we get to talk about Colorado on Monday night. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to try to go as far as I can, depending on how people respond to this show on Monday nights. Go right up to the season where Monday Night Football comes back, okay? Once Monday Night Football comes back, I don't want to compete with that unless our show just blows up and nobody cares about Monday Night Football. We just want to hear what TLP got to say, what the panel members got to say, all that good stuff, okay? So let's get to the show. Let's get going. Today's show, I want to thank Kevin, a writer from Athline Sports, Kevin Borba, for the opportunity for some information that he shared about some rule changes to college football. I want to share some of those rule changes with you. I want you to talk with me, have a conversation, how you think these rules are going to affect Colorado. Excuse me. How you think these rule changes are going to affect Colorado. And then we'll get into other discussions. If you guys have something you want to talk about, you can put that in the comments. We'll talk about it. I will invite my guests to come on here. And you know what I'm saying? We'll have a dialogue about Colorado. The last place where we left off, we were talking about, we had two topics. We didn't get this second one. The first topic was we were talking about being black on campus in the Coach Prime era. And like I think Kennedy Pickering, for her article that she wrote, that video is out there. That did great. We talked about that topic. The second part of that topic that we never got to was we're still dealing with the holes and the I guess the chink in the armor of Colorado football, where areas of opportunity, I would say, right? Areas of opportunity for Colorado football, so that the areas where if we improve a little bit, it can take us deeper into the postseason, because that's our aspirations. That's our head coach's Deion Sanders' wish, is that we get into the postseason and we go far into the postseason. So it's not like we get to some ring-a-ding bowl. We want to get to the big dance. All right. We don't want to, we're not satisfied with just getting to some, some crazy bowl where you barely have to win 6 games to get in. You know what I'm saying? That's not our aspirations. Our aspirations are to get and go far, to get there and go far into the postseason. And for those of you who are new to college football, who do not know the new rules in 2024, when after that Michigan game, when Michigan won, when they beat Washington, right after that, some new rules were implemented. We're going to be going to a 12-team playoff system, and then there are some other rules that have been added, and we are going to go ahead and talk about that in a moment. But before I get talking about that, guys, let me go ahead and say hello to my guest, my nighttime guest. I am appreciative. I'm a little scared because I'm like, are they going to meet me at nighttime? The daytime show was really good. And sometimes it's hard for you to make that transition, or for you to even think about making a transition, especially when something is successful. It'll be kind of weird for you to just kind of abruptly, just make that transition. All right. So, let me say hello to my guests, see if the same faces are here. I'm sending myself the email now. I should have sent it a long time ago. All right, so I see some of the same faces. DC Carson Music is here. All right, that's a good thing. Mr. James, I recognize that guy. Peter Investor, that's my guy right there. He's back. Shout out the guy. Of course, I recognize the name. What up with you? Okay, y'all making me smile so far. Thank God. Okay, who else is here? I see Phil So Real. Yo, thank you for coming. Yo, it's a little scary out here, guys, in New York. So, because I'm like, oh, Lord. I know I didn't make an announcement from the previous show to say, hey, guys, we're going to Monday. It's just kind of like Monday comes, no show. And then we're just going to go ahead and have a new show at night, and I'll see y'all at night. That's how we go. But I got a little bit of I guess it's an exciting news at the top of the show, guys. Before we get started, I want to let you know about that join button, that JOIN button. For memberships for TLP Sports Club, the membership is now open, and I have some cool perks on for our members. For those of you who are part of the constituents and you want to support this channel, you want to support me to continue to do what I do, guys, I would like for you to consider becoming a member. There are 3 tiers right now. I have $1.99, $4.99, and $9.99. That $9.99 is a last-minute decision that I added. And let me tell you a little bit about that, and then we get into the show. So that last tier is basically tech advice or online media advice. But anything from tech to like asking me anything about new business, about getting into YouTube, being successful on YouTube, how you get started, what the equipment that's necessary, because I worked at B&H for like 10 years. And prior to B&H, I'm a filmmaker. So I know everything from script all the way to screen. So even if you're like, Harry B, I don't want to get on YouTube. I have a film that I want to write, and I got questions, and I need your help. Please answer some questions for me about the music industry, about the film industry. Where do I go? Like, if I want to get a permit to do something, you know what I'm saying? Where do I go? Peter Investor's he's a new member. That's my guy. Yes, sir. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Peter Investor. I appreciate you. So, yeah, I mean, I have a wealth of knowledge. You see what I'm saying? If you need prayer, I don't know, man. If you need prayer, you're like, Harry B, man, I'm going through a tough time right now. Me and my wife are not seeing, I don't know, man. I just threw that one in because I felt like, I have a wealth of knowledge. I have a lot of things that I want to, that I can give. And if you are a member, I want to give those things. Like, if you ask me a question, I answer anyway, depending on whatever tier you're in. but I preserve that tier for guys, people who have questions. And I'll tell you this, and before I finish, I was building my basement and I was on YouTube and I was looking for free information to like the equipment. I didn't know what type of equipment I needed because I've never built anything before like that. So if you've seen some of my lives, I've done shows in my basement and stuff like that. So it's a beautiful basement. I think the national title game I streamed in my basement. So if you are part of that, you've seen my basement. So me and my family, we built that during the COVID pandemic. I didn't know that I was, YouTube has a wealth of knowledge and people sharing information, but sometimes you get stuck and you have questions and you just want that personal connection. You just want somebody that you can talk to, be like, yo, hey man, I got a question. Can you answer this question? I'm trying to write a short film and I don't know where to start, or I need to get into a film festival. I don't know where to start, or I'm starting my YouTube channel and I don't know what camera to use. And I know that you have a wealth of knowledge. Can you please answer a few questions? And if I don't know, I ask somebody that I know that's in the industry. So I got music industry friends that I can reach out to. I haven't talked to him in a long time, but Marcus Johnson, Bob Johnson's nephew, he owns 3 Keys Music. If he still does, I'll be like, yo, Marcus, I got a question. So I have that connection. When I left, we were friends. Okay, we were not buddies, but I can probably reach out and be like, yo, Marcus, I got a question. I got a wealth of like movie industry, like the film industry friends, people all the way from writers to probably a lot of friends there. So I have a wealth of knowledge. So if you join that group, or that if you become a member of that I guess exclusive group, you can ask me any questions and I'll be able to help you on your way to wherever you're trying to go. All right. Okay. Peter Investor, man, you are a gem, man. I want to thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and talk Monday Night Football. Let's talk Colorado football. There have been some rule changes in college football that I think, according to Shirley Kimball, how you doing? According to the NCAA has made some changes. Some of the changes, when I got around here, I made a video about some of the things some people have been quarreling about, people have been really upset about. One of the biggest changes, guys, is and I'll talk about it off top, is there's now a 2-minute what's the word? There's a two. Now you have 2 minutes. I can't think of the word that escapes me right now because I'm so excited. Let me go to my article so I'm not gonna fumble this. Are you kidding me? Wow. 2-minute warning. Wow, I cannot believe that just escaped my mind. And my brain was like, you on your own, buddy. I ain't helping you out. You on your own. There is now a 2-minute warning in college football. Can you believe it? But before I got here, everybody were complaining, okay? And let me tell you a little bit about why that 2-minute warning is such a big deal for college football. Just like in the NFL, that's almost like another timeout because that's coming. There's been a couple of situations where Colorado was stuck and we just couldn't go anywhere else. Now, there's a lot of close games that we were in last year. Lots and lots of close games. I made a video about that. It's on the page. We had a total of 8 one-possession games. At the end of the regulation, like colleges or teams are holding the ball long, and then they're kicking a field goal. And when you run out of timeouts, you got nothing else to lean on. Now imagine Colorado has 2-minute the 2-minute warning now. So if you insert that 2-minute warning into last year's team or into last year's rules, Colorado probably comes away with at least one more win. I'm telling you, because like my guy Kevin Borber, the writer, says from Outline Sports says, and like I said, I already thanked him for this because I got this idea from him. Like when he was like, yo, there's like game management was something that Colorado was dealing with. And we all know that. We all know that game management was a big situation for Colorado. So I think this gives Colorado an opportunity that I would say if I don't know what is going to turn out. Nobody knows all of the new changes, all of the changes we've changed the HC. We've changed the DC. We got new coaches coming in. We know Warren Sapp is supposed to be there. It's March now. He's supposed to join the team in March, like they said. We don't know exactly what time. I haven't been keeping up with every single Well-Off Media video, even though this year I'm actually watching a lot more Well-Off Media videos. But I don't know if he's gotten there yet. But whenever he comes, there's going to be a lot of new coaches and a lot of new faces. They have a small window to all get along. They have a small window to put this whole thing together. So as far as like how much that's going to help, I think that's going to help Colorado tremendously, because like I think it's going to help college football overall tremendously, because now you have that little bit of a cushion that of the 2-minute warning. So let me see. Let me make sure that I want to talk about this a little bit. Let me know what y'all think about. Let me know what y'all think about the 2-minute warning, and let me check my email. Make sure. So hot tips for tlpsports@gmail.com. I'm still waiting for the link, guys. So give me a second. There it goes. All right, guys. So I want to know what y'all think about the 2-minute warning and how you think it's going to help Colorado. To join the show, guys, if you want to talk about these topics that I'm talking about, guys, join tlplive@gmail.com. This is the email right here. A lot of your excuses was, I'm at work, I can't talk. But if you're not cooking or you haven't had dinner or whatever it is that you're doing, if you're not busy, I want you to call in. This is an opportunity for me to hear some new voices and see some new faces. So if you are at home and you can join the show, I would love to hear some new faces. But I always appreciate my guys calling in. Whoever's been calling in before, if they call in, I'm all for it. But I want to talk about the 2-minute warning and how that can help Colorado. Join tlplive@gmail.com. This is the email right here. It's going to come off the screen. So try to write it down if you can, for maybe not this show, but maybe next Monday's show. You want to come on here, write that email down. Is join tlplive@gmail.com. That is the email that you're going to call in. All right. So 2-minute warning for the life of college football. No 2-minute warning. The clock just runs all the way through. I think the NFL has benefited from this rule for a long time, because teams know that you're going to get that time. All right. At that 2-minute mark, they're going to blow the whistle. They're going to go to commercial. And then you're gonna have an opportunity. You're gonna have an opportunity to call a play. Now, if you don't fumble that, I mean, the rules are the rules, right? If you don't fumble that rule, then that's up to you. Like, you got 2 minutes. You got this opportunity now at the 2-minute warning, and you got some time. You don't have 2 minutes to call a play, but you have some time during that commercial break for you to make whatever adjustments you got to make. And that, I think that's going to be instrumental in Colorado's game management. Now, college football as a whole, but specifically Colorado, because we have management issues. Anything that can help us, the way I look at it, all right, everybody has improved, okay, including Coach Prime. Because you got to understand that we all learning here. Everybody was learning at the time. We're not going to go out there in public and put it out there. Oh, my God, I got to make some adjustments. I got to do this. Ain't nobody going to tell you none of that, okay? Everybody was. There was a lot of mistakes that were made, but anything that can help us is a good thing. It's a great thing. And I think that 2-minute warning is huge, because I can remember the one game that I will never, ever forget is the freaking Arizona game. I don't know why that game is it's a game that just would never leave my mind. Arizona, in the last 6 minutes of the game, they took they're such a great job game managing. The coach didn't care about none of the frills. You know what I'm saying? He didn't care about this or that. He just wanted to just put a W up and just go to the locker room, and that's it. That's all he cares about, all right? That guy took the ball with 6 minutes left, and I just kept screaming, oh, my God, to keep running. We can't stop the run. Took it all the way down, and then we ran out of timeouts. 2 minutes came, time kept running, and Arizona kicked the field goal. And that was like the dagger that I was just like, Lord, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? So this 2 minute is gold for us, and I think it's going to be awesome. Let's see. Listen, we have pro coaches that are used to the tablets and headsets communication. NCAA playing catch up. All right. So since you said it, I guess that would be the second thing. So the second rule is going to be that the fact that they are not implementing tablets on the sideline, and I believe the number is going to be about 17 or 18 tablets. If not 17 or 18, was it like 20 some tablets? I think it's about 18 tablets, if I'm not mistaken. If I get that number wrong, guys, put it in the comments. Let me know. But yeah, so maybe I can let's do this in the presentation. Maybe I can show y'all. I just wanted to kind of do it in a conversational style, but let's see. How y'all doing tonight? Are y'all good with this a nighttime show? Let me hear some folks. I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all good with this nighttime show? Y'all good? I don't really know. I want to know if y'all good with this nighttime show. I know a lot of people. You got things to do. Y'all doing whatever y'all doing in your life. I just wanted to be a little part of it. Just a few, just like an hour or so part of it, and then depending on how the conversation goes, it usually goes over. But the 1 hour shows usually go over because we have such a good time here on this channel. All right, let's see. So I'm gonna need y'all to like communicate with me and really interact with me because I don't know. This is a trial basis. How do you call in? Good question. Let me tell you how to call in. Right there on your screen. How do you call in? To call in, join tlplive@gmail.com. This is how you call in. Shirley Kimball said, I love nighttime. Okay, great. Awesome. We got nighttime. We got one nighttime person. Good. That's good. That's good. All right. So yeah, if you want to call in, join tlplive@gmail. Go ahead and write that email down. You may not call in tonight, but you may want to call in the next time. All right. Tennis Channel says, all right, he's probably a daytime guy. Willie's a daytime guy. He's like, it's all right, man. I'm tired. I'm old and my bones, my joints hurt. I want to go to sleep. I want to go to sleep and I'm age shaming here. I'm sorry. I want to go to sleep, but you're having a nighttime show. What's going on, Harry B? Why are you doing this to me? It's all good. It's all good. Oh man. So glad you're but yeah, so we're this is where we at. What do y'all think about the fact that I want to hear about the 2-minute warning? If you are a long-time college football fan, right now he said 614 startup said, what's the topic? Right now we're talking about the rule changes in college football. We're talking about the right now I want to hear from you guys, especially if you've been a college football fan for a very long time and you've been waiting for that 2-minute warning to come into play. If you've been waiting for forever for that, how do you feel about the 2-minute warning? Because obviously, if you watch NFL football, we've known about the 2-minute warning forever, so that's not anything new for a lot of the NFL fans. But college football has been waiting for the 2-minute warning forever, and I don't know. It's just like something that we thought that it'll help college football. For some odd reason, college football takes the NCAA just takes a very long time. They drag their feet on things that can help the game. Now, I do understand one part of it where I think when you think about it, you want to have a differentiation of professionals and college. But I guess if you're on that board, if you are a member of that board, what type of arguments are you having? Like how it either affects the game, it makes either the game, it slows down the game. College football is a little faster. We don't want too much commercials being played, or I don't know what was the argument against the 2-minute warning. I'm interested in understanding, like, what are the rebuttals? Are there any rebuttals? What specifically? Because I understand other things that you don't want to implement in college football, you don't want it to become too professional, then you almost lose the I guess the essence of what college football mean. Like, I know one side of the argument is the NIL has changed college football because now it's looking like, that whole idea of free agency. You're earning money, so you should play like a pro. People have educational arguments like, okay, this is an educational institution. We don't want kids' minds to just be stuck on, let me make money for my family right now, as opposed to the first thing was, number one, I'm going to college. So I understand the arguments, but what exactly would be the argument against a 2-minute warning? I don't see too many rebuttals. I'm trying to like be rational to say, okay, this argument would make sense. Not have, maybe it's slowing the game down too much. So what are some of the arguments that or the rebuttals that the NCAA had about the 2-minute warning, especially if you guys are in the chat and you understand college football, and what are some of the things that you guys think? So all right, so that's one conversation, and that's one thing that changed. And then another rule that changed is the fact that they're going to have tablets on the sideline. Now, how does this affect the Colorado team? You obviously had your guy in the booth. That was Pat Shermer's role. He was the analyst. The analyst has that bird's eye view, and he's atop. He's at the top. He's not allowed on the field. So whatever he is seeing, he's able to communicate that down to the coaches and say, hey man, implement this. Now with that rule, what that does is it kind of gives you that bird's eye view on the sideline. You've seen this in the NFL where the rules, where you get people looking at plays and only the plays. And there's a rule that you cannot change. You can't amplify the image. You cannot blow this up on another screen and make this bigger. You can't do that. So there has to be some type of integrity to this rule. And you can't share this information, obviously. It's local. All right. It's a local, nobody can connect to this. So what this does is it gives Colorado the ability to be able to make adjustments, in-game adjustments, like stuff that we were seeing, that we were screaming, because one of the arguments that we heard a lot was that you guys don't really see what we see on the field. You guys don't understand what we're seeing. You're watching it on TV, so you have a bird's eye view. You're seeing everything, but when what we're seeing is real to us, and it's not real to you, because you're like, oh, why did you pass it to this guy? So now what happens is they're able to see that on the field. It's like, oh, look, this is the adjustments that you make, or this is the mistake that you make. You see this guy, he was open. These are the routes that they ran, and you will be able to show that in real time. It's been happening in the NFL. Everybody knows about it. It's not a new situation that most of these kids don't know about. But now in college football, now that gives Colorado an opportunity to be able to say, "Oh, look at some of the things that we did." And you know something. You know why I like this rule? One reason: Shadeur. And let me talk about this a little real quick. Shadeur. This kid, I don't know, man. I feel like when this kid gets to the NFL, oh my gosh, it's going to be lights out, because he's so articulate, because he's so intelligent. If you're able to now show Shadeur, hey, look at this, look at that, look at this, right? And you say, oh, let's make some adjustments here and there. I feel like he will be the best proponent to this rule, because he's so intelligent. His football IQ is out of here. The kid is a coach already. Like, he can coach already. So this with the third rule, which is the communication. And that's, let me see, I think this communication part is right here. The communication. So the communication, you're going to wear something on you're going to wear a sticker on your head, a green sticker on your helmet, on the back of your helmet. It's kind of small, but it's right here on the helmet. So now what the rule states is that the team has the ability to have one player to communicate to the coaching staff on the sideline, so while they're on the field. So obviously they're going to give that to Shadeur, right? I don't think you're going to give that to anybody, right? So I would say Shadeur, the quarterback, is usually going to be that person, so that you can relay the calls to him. But I think at the end of the day, Those two rules are going to benefit Shadeur a lot because the way that I look at it, he's such a mature player. He's so mature to this in this game, and it just makes a lot of sense for him. You know, it makes a lot of sense for Shadeur because at the end of the day, you're looking at this kid and you're like, it's almost like out of worldly how mature he is on this level. Yes, he makes a lot of mistakes. Yes, he does a lot of boneheaded stuff that you're looking at. You're like, dang, Shadeur, why are you holding the ball so long? Why are you doing this? Why are you not doing that? I think with some of these rule changes, what's going to happen is going to give Shadeur an opportunity to be able to be a little bit, to give him that extra advantage. He's already good. Shadeur is like, I hear the argument all the time, like, daddy ball, and I hear other arguments, but I'm like, do y'all ever, like, for the detractors who talk about daddy's ball and he's not all that good because his dad is the coach and stuff like that, that's why he gets favoritism. I'll be thinking sometimes, I'm like, do you actually like look at the game and see how mature this kid is? How he reads the plays and how he understands football, like from an early age, not just like he just started. Like, this is something he's been doing since he was a kid. Since I've been following him in the high school with the Trinity, with the what is it, Christian Trinity or whatever the name was in Texas, like on those YouTube videos. His maturity level is out of this world. So I don't understand. Like, I'm like, well, if you take a second to just look at it, have you seen how he plays the game? Or is it just that no matter what he does, it doesn't matter? And then maybe, I mean, you're never going to convince those people, but I look at it, I'm like, wow, this kid is very mature and his football IQ is very high. So that's like a franchise quarterback. Those are the things that you look for in a quarterback. His decision making, the way that he reads the plays. He's trying to make sure he makes the right plays. He's trying to put the ball the right place. He's trying to make sure that everybody understands what he's seeing and how he's seeing it. That's a very mature quarterback. And I don't know about y'all, whatever city you're in, but year after year, my New York Jets and my New York Giants, like I told you guys, I follow all New York teams. I don't have just one. My New York Jets and my New York Giants, we have quarterback issues. There's always a quarterback issue. You know what I'm saying? So now we got Wilson. We had Geno Smith. I was just having a conversation with a guy out there, and he just came out of nowhere. He started talking, and then we were talking, New York football, and Geno Smith came out. Now he's a starter. New York always have these players where we groom them and then we send them out. But we always have a quarterback issue. To have a franchise quarterback, somebody who's very mature, somebody who's poised, somebody whose decision making is like almost on point. When somebody gets a quarterback like that, it automatically makes their team all the way better. That's why I can confidently just sit back and say Colorado in the Big 12 in this new conference, being firebrand tested, is going to do very well in this Big 12. I have us at 8-4, but just the confidence that's coming from Shadeur, it should let you guys know that having a quarterback, because a lot of teams, that's what they struggle with. If you look around college football, a lot of teams are going into the transfer portal to grab a good quarterback. Colorado already has that. Now, talking about the different holes and stuff that we need to plug in, I feel like we need another veteran that can back up Shadeur, that has playing time. Now, Ryan Stubb ain't too bad, but I don't know if Ryan Stubb is really, you know what I'm saying? Like, my trust for Ryan Stubb is not really that great for me to say, oh yeah, I really trust Ryan Stubb that, he's that guy to back up Shadeur. So anyway, I say advantage, the way I'm looking at it, I would say advantage Colorado for these rule changes. These rule changes are going to benefit Colorado exponentially. Let me use some big words there. Exponentially. Now, where are some areas with the rule changes? All right. Now, if you look at it, guys, I still have us at 8-4. All right. Now with the DC, I did drop us one, but I think the last time we talked, I think I took us back to 8-4 for something. I don't remember. Excuse me. But I think 8-4 is a fairly good. I'm still getting over a cold, so please forgive me if I'm coughing all over the mic. I know that's a little rude, but um, what are you guys saying about the rule changes? First, communication in the headsets. Shadeur having a microphone. That way, communication, because I don't know if you remember last year, there was a lot of miscommunication where the Shadeur gets certain. Okay, I'll put it to you this way. I think Pat Shermer is more. You've heard it from the guy, so this is not something I'm saying. Pat Shermer is more of an NFL guy. The NFL plays more strict ball. Okay, this just for the lack of better terminology, the NFL just plays strict football. All right. Every now and then, you may throw some tricks of the trade in there. You know what I'm saying, to fool certain things, but the plays are kind of straightforward. All right, like I always say, I became a fan of NFL because it was easy for me to follow. Coming from Liberia, not knowing anything about football, when you are a new fan, NFL knows their product well. They know how to integrate people into their product. So they make it real easy for the person that's new. They know how to integrate laissez-faire fans, so fans that don't know anything about this sport. Number one, they got the announcers. Number two, the game is just a lot easier to just follow. College football is not so. All right, college football is a little different. Phil So Real, thank you for joining the show, man. I appreciate you always calling in. Thank you, man.
What's good? What's good? What's good?
Welcome to Monday Night Football. What do you think of this new time, man?
Well, so normally with my job, I'm up under the bed by 7 o'clock because I have to get up at 3:30 on Tuesday
Oh,
morning. So I'm off today and tomorrow. So luckily, I was able to jump on. So I just want to come on and show some love, show some support. But I like it though. It's cool. It was it's a nice change of pace.
what's better for you, night or day?
Daytime for me, but Monday and Tuesday I'm in the office, so it's a little bit harder for me to like really like chime in and get in the chat on Mondays. But Fridays I get off at 12, so that's normally when I can jump on.
Oh, okay. Well, we keep it Friday for now because the Fridays are crazy. The free
Yeah,
for all
yeah,
Fridays,
yeah,
they go crazy. The last show we did it went nuts. So
yeah. I
I'm
was trying to
slowly
keep
trying
up.
to.
I was
Uh-huh.
out of town, but I was trying to keep up a little bit here and there. I was trying to jump in the chat for a quick second, but from the stuff that I did hear after I went back and listened to it later, y'all had pretty cool conversation.
Yeah, man. I mean, people are still reeling from Stretch dropping that bomb from that. Anyway, so what? Okay, so now we got
TMZ.
rule changes. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. That video is it's you know how many people have really like they are straight upset. I'm like, what are they really upset about? But anyways, I don't want to dig into
Yeah, yeah,
wounds.
yeah. We can
But
move on.
we
We can move
we
on.
we can move on, right? We got new rule changes. What do you think about the rule changes and how do you think it's going to benefit Colorado? I have my I'm excited for a couple of them
So
because of mainly for Shador. But go ahead.
it's okay. So with the 2 minute warning, I mean, I think yes, it's nice to have that 2 minute warning, but if you already are bad at clock management, I think that might just muddy the waters even more. So unless we see Dion, Coach Prime, uh, really improve on his clock management, I think it could be more of a hurdle than it could be a benefit. Um, as far as the tablets being on the sideline and the microphone or in the helmet, I think Shador is going to grow exponentially better than what he did last year in terms of being able to read the defenses in terms of being able to adjust in game because he is a smart player. You can, regardless of if it's daddy ball or not, the boy can ball, and you
He
got
can
to
ball,
get it
man.
to him. And so the fact that he's gonna have somebody in his ear, somebody's gonna be in his ear, plus he can visually see it from a bird's eye view when they get those tablets out. I think it's gonna
Yes,
help.
sir.
It's gonna help Colorado out major this year. Major.
Let's take it. Let's take the rules one at a time. But let me bring on Tay. Tay, welcome for calling. Welcome to the show. Thank you for calling TLP Live. Thank you. I appreciate you.
How you doing, man? Yeah, appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. We're doing good. How you doing today?
I can't complain, man.
All right. First time caller.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, welcome
Now,
to the show.
I always
So,
watch your content though, but it's my first time calling in though.
okay, that's what's up. Well, I'm glad that I have a nice show that you can finally call in and have your voice heard on some of these issues that we have or some of these opportunities for Colorado. So, what do you think about? Let's first talk about the issue, not issue, but the rule change of the 2 minute warning. Like, what are your thoughts on how you think it's going to benefit Colorado?
I just 2 minute warner. I think he benefited
The
good because
first,
Shadeur. I think he best in the 2 minute warners anyway. When he know he got like when I don't know. I just feel like Shadeur when he in crunch time, and I just think they'll put like pressure on him because you know he got a 2 minute warning. So I just think that'd be better for him. But also like I don't know. I just like Shadeur, so I don't know. I just think it's better for him though.
so the idea of the 2 minute warning is that we get a timeout. We almost get like a fourth timeout, right? You got
Like
three
like
timeouts
like
officially,
exactly. Yeah, basically. So it benefit
right?
them
So
good
clock
though.
that whole clock management is going to be something that I feel like if we had the 2 minute warning last year, the 2 minute warning could have bought us a little bit of time for those at least one of those one possession games to help us to advance a little bit. But also,
Yeah,
what about the so what about the idea of Shador and having somebody in his ear, and he's going to have the
they go,
communication in his ear now.
yeah, they're gonna be great for him. And I disagree with the other dude when he just said on that Shador be like that he struggled last year. He didn't struggle. He was struggling. He ain't had no line. Yeah, he got to be running for his life. Trying to die. He about to die. If you
No,
got a
I
line,
did,
you
I did,
protect him.
I did say he
I know what you
struggled. I
said, but I'm
said he
saying that
shined
you like
last year.
he'll do better better this year like because he can see the defense more and stuff like that. He can see the defense last year if he had time to throw the ball.
So let me ask you a question. You said Shador didn't struggle. Now, you're
Not to me.
saying okay? So can you want to articulate that a little bit better? Like, what do you mean that
I'm
he
just saying
didn't struggle? Were there
he
any
didn't.
opportunities? Okay,
Ain't
let me
many
rephrase
quarterback.
it.
Ain't many. Okay.
Let me rephrase it for you. Let me rephrase it. Were there opportunities for growth for Shador? Because maybe struggle is a strong word for you, but did
No,
you see any opportunities for growth for Shador?
be honest, no. I just think he needed a
Oh,
line. If you
so he
got one
did
second
everything.
to drop back and read the defense and throw the ball at the same time, that ain't good for no quarterback he's playing behind.
Hey, but I do want to say this real quick. Go back and look at that Stanford game when they gave up that lead and he threw that interception in overtime. He was trying to do too much. He could have easily threw the ball away and lived for another down, but instead he tried to make
But we
something
just talk about
happen
one play
and
though.
threw
Patrick
in.
Mahomes threw
Right,
interception. We talking about one play
but
though.
my point is those type of plays happen throughout the season, but that specific play was the one that was, I guess, the most noticeable. So my point is that's an area where he can grow. I feel is that he tries to do too much at times because he knows he's good. He knows he can reach the defense. I think sometimes he gets a little overconfident. If he could just throw the ball away, live to play another down, and not turn it over, and they keep the ball, that gives him a better chance to score. So, like, to me, I think that's where he can grow.
So I know some.
I,
I know sometimes. Hold on, Tay. I know
yeah,
this is where I understand where Tay's coming from because a lot of sometimes like I don't know if we phrase things wrong, if we say the wrong way, but sometimes I feel like okay, maybe the word he struggled was too strong, but Tay, you're saying like even some of the best quarterbacks in the game, they said they had opportunities to grow. Even Shador has said he had opportunities to grow. But you're saying no way, it was just the O line. That's interesting to me.
To me, that's what it was. The O line, yeah. We'll see this year. We'll see how when
The
everybody keep
entire
talking about
all of the issues they had, Shadeur had no issue. Like he didn't play none of the parts in the issues. It was just
nah,
strictly the O line.
nah, strictly the O line. Give him some time. Watch what happens. He got O line this year, so ain't
Wow.
no excuse.
Okay. So the O line, the O line gets better. He gets better, and then we're good.
Oh
Like
my God.
he's already there.
Oh my God. Is he? And that's why I was watching the dude. I was cussing the dude on Coach JB show out because he be hating on Shador. I don't know what's his problem with Shador. Like I don't like, especially like a young black man like that. I don't like people that be hating on people like that. And like some people just like negative, like down talk somebody like that. I don't know. I don't know. It just made me pissed off. And I ain't talking about the guy right here because he ain't saying nothing negative. I'm just talking about like when I be watching other shows and stuff like the way they be talking about it. Like even on the top quarterback in college, they got him like ranked 8. Oh man, I was cussing them people out.
Hmm. Well, from my vantage point, he has room to grow, and the place where he has room to grow are issues that he himself has says there were times where he held the ball too long. He could have let the ball go. Those fourth downs where it's fourth down, and we're trying to get a fourth down, so we got to throw the ball. I think every time that we went for it on fourth downs, you can't blame the O line for that because he got sacked. He did not throw the ball. And you got to throw that ball on fourth down no matter what. It doesn't matter what come hell or high water. If it's fourth down, you got to throw the ball regardless of anything else. So those are rooms that's room that's opportunity to grow. I'm just trying to rephrase it so you can think about like he's not a perfect quarterback by
No, no,
no
no, no,
stretch of the imagination. He's a really good quarterback.
I ain't say he
There's
wasn't.
always room to grow.
I'm just saying though, I ain't never seen a quarterback. I ain't never seen a quarterback not struggle like when you know you got nobody in front of you when defense is just coming in and basically like just terrorizing you at the end of the day. That man had to go get shot up with pain medicine and all and half times and stuff. He hurt so bad. He still came out there and played at the end of the day. So I don't know. He played good to me though.
All
I understand what
quarterbacks,
you're saying.
everybody struggle, but this is our quarterback. This is our quarterback. Even though everybody struggles, this is our quarterback. And the I would say if this is our quarterback and we're only focused on our quarterback, I would say our quarterback has some room to grow because I mean he said it himself. He said it himself. I'm not. I don't talk down on Shadeur. I don't talk down on anybody on this team, but I'm afraid to say that somebody's perfect. They don't have no room to grow. So that's just where I stand
You
at.
always got room to
Now,
grow though. That's a human theory. Everybody got room to grow. I'm just saying though, I don't feel like I just don't see him like I ain't saying I don't see him growing at the end of the day, but I don't just look at him like dang Shador, you can't read no defense, no nothing. I don't look at it like that. I just so he can
Hey, 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 Harry. I don't think Shador deserves the lion's share of the blame for the offensive struggle last year.
exactly that's
But
what
I
I'm
do,
saying.
I do, I do think he played a part, even if it was 10%. The play calling was the other 50%, and then you know what I'm saying, like the offensive line be the other 40, whatever percent. You know what I'm saying? Like I think there were a lot of different factors that played into it. I don't think Shador had the biggest percentage
And
of
then you
why
ain't
they
got no
failed.
run game.
But when you know your offensive line is not doing what they need to be doing, and they've already said like he was calling his own audibles at the line, like you have to make those adjustments when you know what your weakness is. And if your weakness
Yeah,
is
that's fact.
offensive
That's
line, you got
fact.
to get the ball out quick.
That's fact right there
so
though.
okay, so here we are. Colorado has a lot of different areas to improve. Now, like I said, I'm talking about the idea that we got the 2 minute warning now. That's an extra timeout. That feels like an extra timeout.
Oh,
We
Harry,
got the helmet. Yeah.
I'm sorry. One quick point about the 2 minute warning.
Hmm.
Anytime rules are being made and anything is changed in college football, look at how much look at if they can make money from that change. that 2 minute warning is now just another way for them to get
That's a
ad
commercial,
revenue for commercials. That's it.
right?
That I don't think it has anything to do with like player safety or anything like that. I really think it comes down to dollars and cents. This is just
More money, yep.
extra airtime that we can put on and get commercials, especially when you're looking at like the first 2 weeks of the season or bowl games, conference championships, and then obviously once the playoffs start, that's that's an extra billion, $2 billion coming in over the year just off of 2 minute
But
warnings.
That's true.
but the question to you then would be, even though they have nefarious intentions, is there no
Oh,
benefit that you get the
oh
extra
yeah.
you get the extra
Hey, listen,
timeout?
what I always say, two things can be true. I'm just
It can be true
I'm
at the
looking
same
at it.
time.
Yeah, I'm looking at it from like the conspiracy theory standpoint, like the meaning behind it. But yeah, but I think if you're good at game management, I think this will be a benefit for you. But if you're already bad at it, this could make things worse because it's a new adjustment. Unless you maybe have somebody, which I think with Dion, this is going to help. He has somebody with NFL experience as the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator. So they have firsthand experience with the 2 minute warning in the NFL. So I think, just off of those two hires alone, with this rule change, that's going to be another benefit because they already have people with experience with the 2 minute warning.
That's
Articulate a
what I
little
think
bit
about that.
more. Let me hear when you say if you're bad at game management, this can help, this can hurt you. How do you figure? Like I want to understand, like how you figure this can hurt you if you have like pretty much an extra timeout. How can that hurt you?
Because
Basically, be worthless. Not working,
right,
not
it
game man.
it it's like you can work out all day long, but if you don't eat healthy, you're not gonna lose weight. So just because you say, oh well, I'm gonna go to the gym an extra 30 minutes a day, that don't mean you're gonna get no better because you still eating bad. So like if you're not making the right changes to be better at whatever it is you're trying to improve at, it's not gonna matter. And if Dion is not good at
But
time
that's the point.
management, unless but he still needs to improve so he knows how to use that. Because what if he's in a situation where he could still have the 2 minute warning plus all three of his timeouts? He makes a mistake and then he uses a timeout before the 2 minute warning. Now after the 2 minute warning, you have only two timeouts
Mm,
left, and then you end up only kicking the field goal where you could have had a chance to go for it, you know, and get a field and get a touchdown. So there's always ways that it can bite you.
Mm. All right, so let me bring on Wild Dog. Wild Dog, welcome to the show, man. Thank you for calling. I always appreciate you, brother.
Hey, blessings, blessings. Happy to be here. Thank you.
So yeah, let's jump right into this whole idea of like how do you think the 2 minute warning can help can improve Colorado's game, or at least their game management?
My perspective is that we have a clutch quarterback. Even on a bad day, he's still clutch. So,
Mm.
2 minute warning is just a setup for any of our opponents. So, not really want to harp on 2023, but in 2024, we've got some solid teams we're going up against. And, if it's the difference between, having the ball last or a drive, like CP says, he's going to trust to put the ball in number two's hands. And then going into 2024 with the new DC, who specializes in the secondary, and Silman Craig and other guys being healthy, I would trust in our secondary to be able to shut it down. You're not just going to be able to throw it down the field and move it and move the markers like that against us. So I believe these rule implementations are going to be in CU's favor. And then with our coaching staff, the coaching panel, they're going to be able to look at this and quickly, adjust and implement on how this is going to affect, how to utilize this in the games. So I trust the experience, like you said, especially the NFL experience, but just overall from the lowest man, our new Warren Sapp graduate assistant, all the way up to, Coach Prime. You book in with Go Jackets. Any additional opportunity to make in-game adjustments or to drive down the field or shut the other team down, I'm really just all, seeing this in favor of CU.
So KMS 929 wants to know how are they in CU's favor? One of my thing is, well, I think Wild Dog just said we have a clutch quarterback, and I'm also saying because of Shadeur as well. I'm on the Shadeur train with these rules because at the end of the day, now it's like it can almost give the ball back to us from that perspective. The defense can give us the ball back if we have an extra timeout in Arizona and we get an opportunity to get a stop because of that extra timeout, then we can get the ball back and get the ball back to Shadeur. So I think overall for me, it all surrounds Shadeur. The rules all surround Shadeur
Hey,
for me, at
hey,
least.
Harry. But think about it like this though, just to play devil's advocate. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
have good clock management skills, yeah, you may have that 2 minute warning, but that poor clock management could be the difference between giving Shador a minute and 50 seconds versus 50 seconds. And that extra 1 minute of Shador having the ball with him being clutch, because he is, I won't deny that. That could be the difference between 3 points, 0 points, or 7 points. So just because we have the extra
I'm having
timeout,
a
you
hard
still
time
have to
wrapping
be
my.
mindful of it.
I'm trying. Okay, so for me, I feel like it's dummy proof, right? Like if you know any
It's not
football,
though.
the two.
It's not
But that's what
though.
I'm saying.
People have lost
That's
Super
what I'm.
Bowls
I'm
over that.
trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how it's almost like, damn, how can you burn eggs or how can you burn water? if even if you don't know how to cook, like how can you? It's like
Hey,
how the heck do you
I've
burn?
dated some women that burn some water, so I can't even talk. I can't even talk.
Like it's almost like okay, I'm gonna go all the way in there because I know you don't mind going there. It's
Yeah.
almost like an indictment on how poor like they are with game management or coaching. Period. Like
Hmm.
there's no way you mess this up. There's no way if you have any level of football IQ, there's no way you mess up a 2 minute warning because it's just
But
another timeout.
I think Wild Dog and Tay and anybody in the chat that actually that has followed football, they understand like even in big moments, coaches make poor clock management decisions. You look at the Super Bowl, the 49ers, had they ran the ball a little bit more and ate the clock up, that would have prevented Kansas City from, being able to come back. Kansas City knew they had a 2 minute warning, just like the 49ers knew they had a 2 minute warning. But based off of the play calling and the way you run your offense, so you run your defense will still affect you regardless of if you have that 2 minute warning or not.
But Phil, this is where I'm going back to like player leadership, right? If you have solid player leadership, not that it's a coach's job to step back. It's their job to know when to step back, to know
Hmm.
that you can trust number two, right? And that if we don't have the ball and we're on the defensive end, that you can trust Shiloh, you can trust him and Craig. You know what I'm saying? To make the in-game calls and adjustments like they've been making, right? So at some point in this, it's like it's training and preparation on the coach's end, but in the end game, it's the players that got to execute. And you got proper leadership, which we lacked last year. But moving forward, I'm really hoping that we'll have that on a more solid basis. It seemed like it's shaking itself out. You know, but that's where I feel the key is. It's the player leadership. It's the leadership on the field.
But that
All
means
right,
they
guys, just
also
give me
have to
one
have a
second.
high acumen as well. I'm sorry,
And
go
plus,
ahead.
Just give me one
that
second, guys.
communication gonna help it out too,
Hold on,
though.
guys. Hold on. I want to take this off my screen because I'm hiding your names and stuff so people can see your names when you talk. Join TLPlive@gmail.com is the email to call in if you want to join the panel. If you have a voice you want to add to the conversation, guys, join TLPlive@gmail.com. You email me, I send you a link, and you can have your voice on the show. All right, I'm taking this off the screen, guys, and write the email down. If you can remember it, it's just simple as join TLPlive@gmail.com. Write it down for next time you want to call into the show. But I have a question for you, Wild Dog. We've been around here long enough. We've been dissecting the trenches. We've been dissecting the skill position players. There are areas in Colorado's football that are still concerning, that are still an issue, I would say. We have opportunities. I got to be very careful on how I phrase my words nowadays. But there are areas where we need to improve. All right. So I feel like Colorado still has like, I don't know if the fan base wants to accept this, but I think Coach Prime understands that we have some areas of need if we want to go far into the playoffs. Do you have any areas that you know that you have been pondering for weeks now and like, okay, I don't see no movement in this area? Are there any areas which you're like, when are they going to make a change in this area? Like, if you just want to keep it 100 with me.
Okay, keeping it 100, it's like I'm seeing it, and I'm still kind of scratching my head about the tight end situation. Then, and to be honest, I'm losing sleep about the. I'm losing sleep. I'm losing sleep over the inside linebacker. We have to have a leader at middle linebacker. That's just traditional. That's just. I mean, we have again player leadership. But you gotta have a leader. You gotta have a dog at middle linebacker. The middle linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. So I'm scratching my head, seeing what's going on. We got one tight end, one coming off an injury, so that's a question mark. And then we're doing these conversions. The conversions we did last year, that's not a good sign. You have to convert players. I mean, I was an athlete, played different positions, we plug and play, but that's not a good sign. You know, in Division I football, where you have to rely again, you have to rely on conversion. On conversion. So if you don't have a Jack Lambert, you don't have to have a Jack Lambert. You don't have to have a Lawrence Taylor, but you better have a captain of your defense. You ain't got a captain of your defense. That's just lacking. That's what I'm losing sleep over.
So say those two things one more time before we move on to Tay got his hand raised because Tay got some serious pushback. He's shaking his head. What are the two things you said that you know? I just want to make sure for me. What are the two things that one you're losing sleep over, and I think one was a tight end. Please say those again.
Tight end and middle linebacker.
Tight end.
You got inside linebacker. Within an inside linebacker, you have to have a strong middle linebacker. So, like if you go to a 4-3, you got to have that quarterback, the captain of the defense. And traditionally, that's your linebacker who can communicate forward to the lineman and communicate back to the secondary.
All right, guys. So for those of you who have not been watching the videos, I want you to understand what he's talking about. I have videos where I go over the positions in Colorado. The tight end at the tight end position, Colorado has like two tight ends. Like when I'm comparing them to other teams that have like a tight end for a room full of tight ends, Colorado has two guys that eat at lunch together, and I don't even know if they know each other's names, but two tight ends, just to put that in perspective. Go ahead and push.
Yeah, no. They got three tight ends. And they got some. That boy came from Cincinnati. They got three. That boy came from Cincinnati. Allen. The boy from Miami. The one. I think he's like about 6'4", something like that. And he run fast as heck. And then the defensive player just came over there to tight end because he said he just want to switch positions. He just switched positions over there to tight end. They want to play tight end. That's what he played in.
Oh yeah. You talking about the defensive player? That's three now. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the one thing. Yeah, we got three. Then on top of that, I think we got some good linebackers. We got that boy, the twin boy.
Push back for you though. Whenever somebody switches position, your trust and the trust that you have in that player being effective, I mean, you got to put a number to it. Like what percentage of trust do you have in somebody who's switching positions, who's going to be a tight end now?
100%. You think the coaches don't let him switch for no reason?
Tay's a special guy. Well, you telling me somebody switching?
They don't even know the playbook.
Right. So wait, Tay, hold up, Tay.
No reason.
Tay, I know that you're bullish. I can tell that you're bullish on Colorado. I understand. I understand you're real bullish on Colorado, but you are overly optimistic. I know, right?
I don't think.
You
I'm
are
just saying
way
though.
overly optimistic about somebody. Because you said Shadeur had no room for growth, and now you're
I
saying
didn't
a
say
guy
he
that's
had
switching
no room for
position.
growth. I just say I don't feel like he struggled.
Oh, but I asked you the question. You said no room. But anyways, I don't want to stick on that. You're
Yeah.
saying that you are 100% on a guy that's switching positions to play tight end. So then how do you feel about, I'll
He
give you
played
this.
two
How do
positions in
you
high
feel?
school. He played the same positions in high school though.
Okay. So how do you feel about
So
Tyler
evidently, you got to
Brown
know how to play it.
being center? Do you feel the same way about Tyler Brown playing center over a guy like Khalil?
Tyler Brown. Hell yeah, I like Tyler. I love Tyler Brown. I don't give a fuck what position. I don't care what position he play. He gonna be good.
So you're okay. So you're bullish overall. Okay. I mean, that's Phil. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh,
What are your thoughts on
I just like Tyler
what
Brown.
Tay's saying? Oh, hold on. No,
I,
I'm sorry. Tay, I wanted you to finish your thoughts. I'm sorry. I jumped in there. Sorry.
no, I'm
Go
saying I
ahead, Tay.
like
You
Tyler
want to
Brown.
finish?
Tyler Brown, he like to me, I think he's the strongest person on the O line to me. I'm just that's just my what I see. So at the end of the day, he's been practicing center. That's what he been talking about. And you watch his interviews, he'll tell you he say that's all he been practicing and stuff. And when he wasn't playing, so he was doing that with his mama. He was practicing snapping the ball with his mama. So hey, what can we say about that? I just like Tyler Brown because I
I
think
wanted to give you an
he ain't gonna let nobody hurt
I
your
wanted to
door.
give you an opportunity to finish your tight end comment. So about the tight end room, what
Oh yeah,
Mad
yeah.
Dog was
Well, he
talking.
played. He been in college 1 year, right? So guess what? He been in college 1 year, but in high school, that's all he played was both ways at the end of the day. But when he went to the college, they won't let him play both ways. So now he's somewhere that he just say like, okay, I'm just switching my position because this I feel better to let me go to the next level at the end of the day. So and then he got to be know what he's doing at the end of the day. I don't think he's just gonna just move for no reason. It's just my
All right,
perspective. And
so then
linebackers,
Tay, I'll
I agree
ask
with the
you.
linebackers.
All right, so let me ask you then. Let me pose a question to you because you're very bullish on Colorado. Like you are so sold on Colorado. With all of the changes that have been made this year, are there any areas of growth on the Colorado team that you see and you're still like, man, I wish they could make a change, or I wish that they can get a little bit more depth in this area? What is an area of opportunity that you see that Colorado still needs to make sure that we go deep into that playoff, into the postseason?
I think we could add on, like he said, we could add another linebacker though. At the end of the day, well, like two more linebackers, something like that. But we got some all right. We got some good linebackers with Bentley coming back. We got the Wade boy, the twin brother, the one came from we came from Kentucky or something like that. And he pretty good. I seen his highlight. He pretty good. And you got what that boy came from Alabama on the fast linebacker. I can't think of his name right now. But we need some more linebacker. Everybody and probably another secondary player, but not the cornerback. Probably another safety player.
Wait, is Juju back, or is this Cap? I didn't know Juju was back. Juju's back for real? Isn't he he's been in college for 12 years? All right, let me go ahead. Tennis Channel, Willie, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, good. I had to change speakers and
I
stuff.
see Panda's back in the chat too. Panda's been missing for a minute. But Willie, we're gonna jump you right in, man. We're gonna jump you in like a gang member. We coming right in. What are some areas after seeing the well-loved video, Willie? After seeing everything that you've seen so far, one of my greatest things that I'm happy about on the Colorado team is the fact that we got a lot of the players that we really gonna start. A lot of our starters are there already. Last year we didn't have that. Some people were arriving late, but we got a lot of people right there already, and they're already bonding. So I like that. But what I want to ask you is, with all of that being said, with everything we're seeing from Well Off Media and all the other channels, with the new DC, the new OC, what is that one area that's still kind of like I guess like Wilder said, is driving you nuts or is keeping you up at night? It's not gonna keep you up at night. That's just the same. But what is that one area that you feel like, man, this is really bugging me? And before you answer, I know your boy Panda's been away for a minute, so he may not know the email to call in if he wants to call in and get told what to do and stop playing around. Join TLPlive@gmail.com is the email for you to call in, guys. It's right there on your screen. Please write it down if you want to call in later on. You hear something you want to rebut, or you have a pushback, or you just want to add your voice to the show and you want to enlighten us about something that you know that we may not know. Join TLPlive@gmail.com is the email. Monday Night Football is what we're talking, guys. We are trying this out. All right, go ahead, Willie. What is your answer to that question?
Okay, Harry, that was a great question, I think. And what I'm going to propose to the panel, man, I've been waiting for this question for almost 2 weeks on you. Remember the same question you asked about a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks. So what you guys remember how we got our butts handed to us at the Ducks game? Remember Oregon?
Oregon, that was not a real game. They cheated.
No, well,
they allegedly cheated.
We got and we got our butts handed to it. Even Prime said, we got whipped like dogs. And the key
I don't
thing,
accept that game.
I don't either, but it happened, But the key thing, if everybody knows about that team, and Coach Prime talks about this all the time, he talks about imposing your will and domination. Okay? They imposed their will on us and dominated us. I believe the people that we have in our camp now are the ones to do it. Everybody was saying, well, it's the X's and O's, and we need more linebackers and stuff. I think we got everybody we need. What we need is individuals and a team that's going to come together and learn how to impose your will upon another team or another player. Because if you look at the Ducks game, that's what they did to us. Let me even bring it even closer to home.
I'm not following what you're saying. Try to clean up what you're saying a little bit for me, because the question is there anything that's keeping you up? Is there anything that's bugging you that Colorado hasn't changed yet or has implemented? Something that you feel like an area of need that is still bugging you a little bit. It could be whatever percentage.
That's it. That's
you're
the
saying
area.
that the team needs to dominate?
The team needs to learn how to impose. Each individual has to learn. You know what it means to have to impose your will on another person? That means you dominate.
Well, we're not going to be able to see that until how do you calculate that right now? I guess because the game hasn't, nobody's played anything yet, right? So how do you track that? How will you be able to tell whether Colorado has now can impose their will now? Now, what from the well-off media videos is going to really send that message for you?
Okay, well, I've watched the well-off media, and I've watched the team that we had, the team from last year, and the team that we have this year. Okay, and the team that we have this year is a lot tougher mentally than the team we had last year. You got to understand, it's just not a physical game. It's the mental portion of the game. Harry, let me give you an example. You guys remember Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson? How did Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson? He imposed.
He actually lost that fight. They cheated Mike Tyson. But okay, go ahead.
Okay, he was. Mike Tyson was supposed to be the better fighter or the stronger fighter, but he was able to beat him. You know what? You know how he beat him? The last thing he remembered was what his mother said. His mother told him, "You're going to win this fight." He had that extra behind him. So therefore, even though Mike Tyson was the stronger fighter, he was able to impose his will over Mike Tyson. How does that correlate fixed on the football team? Unless we get our team on the same mindset to impose their will, that means to dominate and to win. That's where, see, Harry, it's not just about how strong you are physically. Okay, it's not just about that. Another one.
That's not my issue. I'm trying to figure out how you're gonna how do you qualify that now? Like, this is preseason. So like I'm just trying to keep it real. I don't know how I'm gonna look for that. I mean, I saw one clip where the guy was hitting the locker room. Okay, he was hitting something. He was upset. So maybe kind of like I can read a little bit into that. Like, okay, he's really mad because he messed up. So I can see that a little bit. But that's a little hard for you to tell preseason if you're seeing what you're prescribing. That's just what I'm saying.
Hey, he just
It's
saying
okay.
he just
It's
basically saying
okay.
because the way they going by themselves, like they really care. Like they ain't just lounging around this and this. Like they really like they care. You can see they care. At the end of the day, you were to watch the video, and you can see they really want it.
But were they
They really
lounging
want
around
it.
yet last year? Were they lounging around last year?
But
Yeah.
Harry, listen, guys, listen. It's all about preparation, how you prepare. If I'm going to play the strongest, I'm not going to wait till the day of the game to prepare. Preparation starts right now in the basic training and stuff that they're going through now. This is what's going to pull that out of them, okay? It's preparation, preparing for your enemy, knowing who they are, knowing the enemy, okay? And it's all about preparation now. I like
But
like the
Willie, I
guy
got
was
to push back
saying.
a little bit. Willie,
Push
you're
I have
back,
my
sounding
push
answer
back
extreme.
whenever you're
hard.
ready. I
I
got my
gotta
answer
push back.
whenever
I
you're
gotta
ready,
push back,
Harry.
Willie. You got this fluffy, great talk. Like you're kind of like you're warming me up with like I'm the fan base, and you're saying all these great things. But I'm like, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, it's how you prepare. Are you insinuating that they didn't have that last year? Like, what? I'm trying to like. I'm trying to figure out what you're really saying versus what was happening last year.
The missing ingredients, Harry, was they prepared, okay, but there's the physical preparation, but then there's the mental preparation of the game, and this is
They
what
did not have the
everybody
mental last
missed.
year.
There, no, Harry, no. Look at the way they played. Look how we got our butts handed to us in that Oregon game. Mentally, they were not there. They got popped
Okay.
in the mouth, got hit in the mouth, and they folded.
Okay.
And guess who dominated? Oregon did. And
Hey,
I'm
Stu, but
and
just
I
so you
All
know,
right.
I
hey,
love
Harry,
seeing you, but I'm telling you, if we're going to get better, become the team that we should be, for me, everybody else got all the other stuff, but for me, and being a former athlete, you got to bust that sucker in the mouth and keep busting him because he's gonna come back, bust him in the mouth and dominate him, win and dominate. But that's
hey,
gonna
Well,
All
Harry,
take
right.
a
So you and I,
mental
we're
attitude.
on the same page now.
wow.
We got. I, I got it.
Ow.
Okay. So
you see
for
the way
you,
Travis Hunter got hit last year, and Shadeur the
for
only
you
one that
is
went down there and tried to get in that man's face. I bet you that don't happen this year.
Yeah, we won.
Exactly that part. Exactly that part. Shadeur showed you who he was, not having to think about it, not having to be told. His immediate reaction showed you who he was. So believe who he was, and anybody that didn't show up and step up and react, they telling you who they were or who they are, and believe them.
Exactly, exactly.
And
Your
our
old
team,
line
our
ain't
team,
coming back.
our team did not
I
have
agree.
that last year. If the
all right.
quarterback
So
has
for
to step up, the team, we didn't have it as a team. Got it? It makes
all
sense,
right.
Harry, a little bit?
So for Willie from the Tennis Channel 2.0, he's saying he wanted to see more mental preparation. He wants to see the guys step up mentally so that they can dominate next year, like Oregon dominated us. So all right, Phil, you've been waiting for so long. What you know the question, or should I repost this question?
No, you're good. You're asking what areas do you still feel need to be improved on the
Yeah,
Exactly.
we
on the
That's
talked
the
team?
about this not
word.
too long ago, but I'm gonna keep asking until the season is over because obviously there are movements on the team. So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
I got
talked
you.
about this
Yeah.
sometime, but now we're kind of updating this conversation.
So for me, I'm gonna kind of go off the beaten path a little bit. My concern right now is the quarterback
Not
room
you, Phil.
behind. I know, right? Um, my concern is the quarterback room behind Shador because my second concern is the trenches offensive and defensive line. Yes, I do think they improve, but are they improved enough to be a championship caliber defensive and offensive line? If they're
Mhm.
not improved enough,
I agree.
Shador can still go down like he did last year. And do we feel confident that Colorado has a backup quarterback that can still lead them to a win if Shador is not on the field? I don't think they have their heir apparent for when Shador leaves next year. So that's my biggest concern right now because it not only affects this year, but it affects the next 2 years or 3 years at Colorado.
So let me ask you a question. Do you expect Colorado to, at this point in time, do you expect Colorado to have championship pedigree right now?
Aspirations?
Is that part of
No,
your
I don't.
expectation?
No, I don't. I
Okay,
don't.
so then cool it on that talk. Okay, stop playing with me. Come on, man.
What you
You
mean?
know better than that. You're what you saying? Like, do they have what was part of your conversation was? Are they should have like
They've
they don't
improved,
have
but
what
I don't think they're a championship caliber team.
Here's
Yes,
what
they've
here's what
improved from last year, but
here's
I
what
don't think
Pat said. Here's what Pat said. Pat Schumer just said this the other day. He said, "We're building a championship
Tay
team."
is losing
That
it.
came out of his mouth. That's
they're
his.
going
That's what
against.
he. That's his
But
attitude. We're building here a championship team.
but see,
It's a
there's a difference
process.
between. But there's a difference
But
between
There you
it's
building a
go.
team
building, right? I
and
think that
keeping
was
up
the
the
operative word.
maintenance.
It's building.
Right. And there are other teams that are just keeping up maintenance on the building that they done already built. And so there's a difference. I'm not saying that they can't be successful this year, but I do not think they're going to win the Big 12. And if they do win the Big 12, I will congratulate them and I would give them a snowball's chance. And you know what? To make it out the first round in the playoffs. Humbly.
Tay, I got a question for you because you're animated in the background. Every now and then you'll put your photo on so you can see us so you can show us your animation. So do you how well do you know the Big 12, Tay?
The Big 12, I know all the teams. I think to me, I'm just gonna, I'm biased. So we going undefeated. I'm just saying just like that. I don't see nobody beating us at the end of the day. I don't see no good team over the private side on. I can't wait to play Utah again because they cheated us last year. But yeah, Colorado State, but they ain't nobody. I don't see no good team over there besides who
Wait, you
over
said
there?
Utah
Baylor.
cheated us last year?
You didn't see how they robbed Travis Hunter?
But
Did you
that
watch the
was in
game?
Utah.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, Harry B. Last year's Big 12 championship was Texas, who's gone, and Oklahoma State University. We still got to deal with Oklahoma State University,
Yeah, but
who was runner up last year.
Oklahoma. That's the only good team I see over there. To be honest with
So you don't like Kansas at all?
you. Nah, man,
Kansas is a
man,
problem,
Kansas
homie.
play basketball. They better stay playing basketball.
Oh, they play football too.
Yeah, they be
I
playing good
can't
though.
wait
They
till
be
I
playing
get to the
good.
Kansas
They
video.
playing good.
I've only
They
gotten
play
to
good.
two videos in that series, the Big 12 versus Colorado, Colorado versus the Big 12. But a team that you need to worry about, and I ain't trying to put no fear in nobody who's very optimistic. I don't want to change your belief system,
You don't
but you got to
believe?
worry about Kansas.
You
Huh?
don't believe? You don't believe?
No,
Oh, you
no,
don't believe? Okay. Okay. Okay.
don't
I,
get
I
me
see that. I
mistaken.
see that stuff you
This is
kept
what I'm.
down in there. Oh yeah, I seen that.
I believe it's going to be a
Panda,
dogfight. I believe they're going to earn every bit of it. It's going to be a dogfight. They're
Oh
going to
yeah,
earn it.
they got them
listen.
dogs
Don't
and
be a
shit,
used
man.
car. Don't
They
be a
got some
used
real
car
ass
salesman.
dogs.
You don't have to scream. Listen. Understand what I'm saying. There's a difference between. Keep in mind what Phil just said. Championship pedigree. You're already saying that we're going undefeated, right? I get it. You
I
got
just
some
buy it.
fans that are super fans. You got some people that are a little bit more realistic, understanding the nuances of the conference and the players that are there. The one thing that I will tell you that based on my research, and I haven't released those videos yet, I don't want to give them all away. The one thing that I'm going to tell you is that Colorado, their coaching staff, Colorado has to pay attention to the coaching staff, like the coaching staff and the coaches and their staff in the Big 12. These guys are not joking. They're not playing around. Okay, that's just. I just wanted to put it there. I don't want to give too much away, but I'll bring that video later on. But let me. You know what? I haven't brought him on yet, so let me just go ahead and bring on Panda. It's been a long time,
I
Panda.
almost believe. I
Welcome back to the
almost
show.
believe you a Colorado hater now, dog. I don't like the way you talk about the mother coaches, man. I'm just playing.
I like it.
Stop playing. Stop playing.
Panda, welcome to the show, man. It's been a long time. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
What's up, squad? What's up, everybody?
Hey,
What's up,
All is
Panda?
well. All is well, brother. So
Blessings, Panda.
we're gonna jump you right in, right off the top. We're jumping you right in. Colorado has, I think, the last time you was on the show, I think this is the last show you left off where we're talking about this specific topic. I don't remember, but I think it was something like this. We've had this conversation
I gotta
early
go, y'all. I
on.
gotta go, y'all. Thank you for having me on. Gotta go. My son. All right, I'm coming right now, baby.
Um,
Gotta go. All right. All
thank
right.
you for
Appreciate you.
calling in. Keep the
Yes,
email
sir.
so
Yes,
we can
sir.
call you next time.
Yeah, see you both all day, man.
All right, guys. So Panda, we are here. We got the DC now. We got the OC. But I still feel like, Colorado has areas in which I would articulate my point later on. I want to give you guys an opportunity to tell me what y'all think. I want you to tell me one area or at least areas where you see if Colorado has these aspirations, where they need to adjust to make sure that they achieve those aspirations.
I mean, I got several points to look at, but
Give me
before I even go
one
that,
good one. Give me one big one.
penalties. Penalties cost us a lot last season. In addition to that, a lot of the penalties they scored on. When you're looking at the practice, right? They always having to go through some form of punishment or some form of additional reps because of the little details. And those things translate into penalties. Everybody watching the statue and the reps, they lift in and the stuff like that. Tennis had a good it's not about necessarily your strength, it's the preparation for the season. But at this stage, the penalties need to minimize. So people not squatting, people not squatting all the way down, people touching the line or going across, so there's little things in the details that is at the level of last season, if I gotta be honest. And everybody know I'm a die hard over here. I'm like, homie that just left. So
You're like Tay, right? Tay, I think
yeah, so
Tay got you beat, man. Tay,
probably so though. Probably so. Like
yeah, Tay is
probably so.
100% in and sold. I don't think I've gotten anybody that's as sold as Tay, unless maybe you and Ron Tate, maybe.
Yeah, I think you
Maybe.
got to put Ron Tate on top too. Yeah, I think he'll
Yeah, I
go with
think
Ron
Ron
Tate.
Tate is in that category where
Man,
you guys are like,
I got
you're all the way
demoted, man. They
in.
got some stronger heads in here.
Oh my gosh, yeah, man. It's been a minute, man. Dudes are sold on Colorado, man. The tea is stronger in Colorado right now. It's colder in Boulder, like for sure. So
And
okay.
guys, just be careful out there, man. I had something like COVID. It wasn't COVID. I tested negative, but I couldn't move or nothing. So y'all be careful out there, bro. I was out
Oh
for a
my
minute.
gosh, variants are man. Listen, we just
And
got
it's
some
not
type of
coming up on
flu.
any tests. So that's the crazy part.
They said we have flu. My son have flu, and they say can get rid of it, but man, it knocked us all out on this weekend. But okay, so I want to ask you a question based on what you just said. You're saying penalty. So are you really articulating this as discipline? Because I guess when I'm asking you guys these questions, I want to be able to see what are they doing to qualify what you're saying. Are you
Well,
speaking about discipline? Or what are you speaking about specifically? Because how do we calculate this? How do we know how to put this in perspective if they're changing? Because you can't see no penalties if there's no games being played. So are you
yeah,
talking
but
about you don't see
you can
discipline?
see when it comes down to the drills, right? Some of the drills are designed to Some of the cone drills are designed to run up as you about to rush the passer or something like that, and people jump in the whistle. You got to pay attention to those little things. Those translate into a lack of discipline if we want to quantify it into a special term. But realistically, remember we did the breakdown of penalties and points that came off of them, and
Mm-hmm.
we can say it's a 50-50 going through the season and an edge to Colorado, but with the penalties, those 50-50 turn the opposite direction, especially when you meet in teams that you were already questioning about from the jump, because we was giving them three losses, some was giving them more. You see what I'm saying?
But is this ready?
Hey, Harry.
Is this a time right now while we are going through the growth process where we can say this is an issue that is really plaguing the team right now? Because obviously, when the way I look at discipline, I think discipline works all the way up right until game time, because you're going to be
but what I
implementing
want to see though, what I
You
want
want
to
to see
see,
you want to see change right now.
no, I want to see decrease, right? What we did see and we did get, we got some people who were more locker room talkers and talking up and stuff more. Because even if you listen to some of the little independent interviews, you hear people like, I don't want to talk to people, I don't want to say nothing. So you have people who just didn't have that dog character. So we have some people now who are displaying some character, right? And then there's the
Okay.
shifting and the back and forth of people shifting into, I'm gonna make the team, you got to step up or not. So we wanted that. We happy to see that. But translating into the discipline of holding each other accountable, every single video we see, people having a problem with being held accountable. Don't forget, we had a player barking back at coach. And
Hey,
I
Harry,
said,
can I ask Panda a question?
sure.
Hey,
Yeah.
Panda, with what you just said, okay, at this particular point, where would you say the team is? I'm gonna give you two. You got one or two answers, okay? One or two answers that I'm looking for. Are we in the preparation mode now as a team, or are we in the attack mode?
Um, tennis tennis channel, don't do that.
That's a simple.
You know,
That's a simple.
Panda, you giving Panda two answers.
I
There's
gave him
no
two.
such thing as
I
He
don't
only
think
answers
you
got
for
know
two
what he's
Panda.
doing.
answers.
I don't think you know.
He only got one or two answers.
Yeah,
I think you forgot who
And
Panda is. It's been a
I'm only
while.
looking for one.
for where the ambition is and for where we're coming from, we have to be in both. And when I mean both, we have to attack the drills with the same intensity like the game is on Saturday, the next Saturday. And we are seeing a progression of more mature athletes coming into the program and stepping up in that department because they want to see the field and the publicity works for them as what they're trying to do for their goal. And we've seen the team gelling. But what I'm trying to explain to you is you must be concerned if you see they not executing the drill to the point where the coaches are giving them extra drills to do because of the lack of discipline. And all I'm saying is as we progress, I am expecting that those little things decrease. I'm not saying they should be ready today and they should be able to play Alabama tomorrow. I'm saying is for the thought process you have of going to the playoffs and the intensity and passion you have, we have to also pay attention to the things that is going to get us there. We could talk about personnel, some of the changes in the personnel. We could say, arguably, we can make more tackles this season. Without even, but from just watching film, we can say we expect a better plugging of the hole with some of the personnel we have that came in. But we cannot say, based on looking at the drills, that the discipline thing or the leak that is coming out of the discipline in the area aspect is plugged. We plug personnel, but we didn't plug anything to have the guys understand that it starts now. We had Coach Prime saying it. We ain't the coaching staff saying it. But at this level, with some of the senior experiences that they got, remember they bringing in seniors, they're bringing in grad players, so they are supposed to come
I
in
got a
with that, right?
Panda. I
But
got a
we are
little bit of
even
pushback.
them.
I got a little bit of a pushback, but I got some
Mhm.
support of what you're saying. Now, the pushback is going to be this. I feel like when you're dealing with discipline is taught over time, because you got a bunch of players who are coming from different teams, right? A lot of, I would say, journeymen. We have a bunch of journeymen on our team. Okay, a lot of people are saying one and done players, but discipline comes with when you get a bunch of players from a different whole mentality, and you have to. There's a certain period where you have to undo a lot of things coming from other teams, because you don't really understand how a player, maybe some things were okay where they're coming from, some things were not. But when you're coming into a whole new system, you got to learn a whole new set of rules. You got to understand a whole new set of disciplines. So now you got to undo. The coaching staff has to understand that they have to undo a lot of things. So I will give them that grace period to say, you know what, it's too soon for that part of it. All right, and I'll
Harry,
say,
Harry, if
yeah.
you saying right that when it comes down to the different people coming in, football is the X's and O's, right? And before we even get to the X's and O's, there is a preparation to get you to be able to execute the X's and O's. That's
Correct.
football. That has nothing to do if you came from Alabama. And the crazy thing is, some of these people is coming from programs
remember when
that
Coach Prime got here? Remember the kid was playing music remember that kid was playing music, and Coach Prime was flabbergasted. Coach Prime said, "What are you doing? You're playing music." He was like, "Oh yeah, this is what we do." So that's the part I'm talking about when I'm talking about when I'm rebutting on what you're saying. I think it's too soon to adjust that, to say I want to see the change now. I said give it more time, because I think they're still in the period of undoing bad habits. Before you can implement good habits, you have to undo some bad habits. And that process takes a lot longer than a few videos that we're going to see from Well Off, because we just got together. So whatever they were coming
Coach
with,
Prime
those
felt that
bad
way,
habits they were coming with, we have to do a lot. We have to undo a lot of that before we start seeing later on. I would say maybe after
But
spring ball.
but Harry, how do you undo a bad habit? Here's what I've been taught. If I
You got to
want to
do good
change,
habits. You got to start implementing good habits and start enforcing that.
you don't think the coaching staff is
here's
doing
what I
that?
do, Harry. Listen up. Here's what I would do. Here's how I do it. If I want to change my habits, a habit is something that it's been built up for a long time. I want to change that habit, which is a behavior, right? What I do, I induce a new habit, and guess what? The one that was old that I wanted to get rid of, it goes away, because what? I've induced a new habit, and I didn't do anything to just say, "Oh, I got to take this away and put something in." No, what I do, I introduce a new habit, and guess what? The old one goes away. Now, it can come back if I'm not careful, and I get into doing the things I was doing before. You will result back into the old ways. But
But I want you to let me articulate what I meant, though, because I think you're missing my point. This is my point. When I say undo the old habits, they're kids. You got to remember, when you're raising kids, you got to tell them, hey, we don't do that here. You got to do a lot of, hey man, we don't do that here. That's the part of you're going to implement the your criterias. These are my standards and these are my rules, but you don't stop there, because the bad habits are going to always supersede the good ones, until the good ones becomes part of our unconsciousness. So the good habits have to be enforced, but the bad habits have to always also be discouraged as well. You got to say, no, we don't do that here. You got to continue to say, no, we don't do that here. No, we don't treat women that way. Oh, you didn't hold the door for this lady? No, we don't do that. Maybe you didn't do it over there. That's what I mean by you got to undo. It's almost like two things has to happen at the same time. While you're implementing those good habits, you also have to be undoing those bad ones that they're bringing into the system. That's why I'm only pushing back on that and saying, you know what? Okay, that's the pushback on that. You got to wait for it. That takes a little bit more time than right now. I don't expect that right now.
I don't agree with
can
you
I ask
for
a
this
question,
simple
Harry?
point, Harry.
So
This is the
So,
reason why I don't agree. Coach Prime
oh, oh,
took a kid off the team. It has been about 4 kids off the team. So let's deal with facts. Then if we are bringing in grad students and seniors, we are saying that we are bringing them in with a level of experience and maturity, and that's what he said is the reason why he went for them, right? I am not talking about um issues of like the classroom or things of that nature. I'm talking about executing the drill precisely to the coach is asking you for. I am keeping it on the field. And I'm saying on the field right now, everything you just said, Harry, is commendable. But we have video evidence that the coaching staff is doing that.
Yeah.
That is why the question was, what do I see as a concern? So I'm saying from looking at it day after day, week after week, tennis player, you are athlete. If you are serving the ball or your technique for serving the ball is creating a foul or a penalty, it goes into the net. Technique wise, that is one thing, right? To help fix that. But if you are not serving the ball with the same intensity, like if you playing, that is a different issue. We're not talking about technique. We are talking about executing the drill. Let's use our basketball. If I'm shooting the free throws, I am shooting the free throws as many
All right,
times
Panda,
after
wrap it up
practice.
so I can get somebody else in here.
Go ahead, man.
So Wild Dog, you wanted to add to the conversation?
I think, right?
Wild Dog, you wanted to add something to that?
yeah, Panda, leave some meat on the bone. I'm almost forgetting what I wanted to say. but
welcome back. Welcome back.
But uh shoot. Well, let me say this, right?
Go ahead.
About creating a culture and environment, right? And so, my only pushback, Harry, is that I know CP uses the language, but these ain't kids. These been young men since high school, right? So the standard is the standard. You're in the process of developing a new culture, right? And so that's why some of these young men are hitting the portal or being asked to hit the portal, right? And then when it comes to some of these transfers, it's a couple of things, They could be coming from dysfunction, or the player could be dysfunction, or it could be both. We don't know, right? And that's why we have to, like you said, keep bringing up the same question: where are your concerns at? Because as players evolve or devolve, or digress, then we have to keep taking a look at it and not making any assumptions or be like, or they were showing out last week, but they're injured or had some off the field problem. We can't be blind to situations.
I'll take that.
So I mean, okay, so I get it and I understand it, but even as adults, we all go to new jobs or we all go to places, and there are bad habits that we have coming from other places that we've come from, being as grown as we are, and sometimes you got to get rid of those bad habits in order for you to grow with the new habits that are here at the new job that you started. So I don't just put it all on that they're just like, okay, they're grown folks and just do the job. I don't know if I really subscribe to that style of thinking, just because we are human beings and we are people of habits. We are, we are creatures of habit. No matter what age you are, you're always going to hold on to what you're always going to bring bad habits into every relationship and every chapter of your growth process, no matter
Well,
what
if you
age
feel
you
that
are.
way,
So,
Harry, Coach Prime shouldn't have dismissed those kids he dismissed already.
Yeah. Harry,
but that only means that you're thinking that it was only disciplinary actions and they couldn't learn. That's why he got rid of them. I don't agree to that.
No,
No,
They couldn't learn.
we've got guys who have stayed, who are finally like bought in. You know what I'm saying? They didn't believe. They wasn't bought in all the way. They thought they're some great athletes and they're just going to come do their thing like they've been doing it. But they've actually staying and they buying into things and they're making progress. Like I also said this live on Sunday yesterday. His teammates aren't the same. And in the running back room, especially, is like these aren't the same players. Expect something different. Expect more from them because I see the change in my teammates who have stayed. Right?
Yeah, but I'm only speaking to what will help us with penalties. I think you're going above that. All I'm saying is penalties was an issue for us last season, and if we want to make it to the playoff, the little things in the drill that I'm noticing, if we don't address them week after week, we're gonna run into penalties again. That's the only point I'm making. I think we're going a little too deep on it.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, simply give it some time with that specific thing, because you say you had a couple of things, but with that specific thing that you're saying, I say give it time. And then this is why I support it also, because I saw one of the videos where one of the coaches, I believe it was the sorry guys, I don't know all the coaches' names that well yet, but the main guy that trains the guys with the beard, I forget his name, but he was saying that people have a hard time accepting when somebody corrects them. He was speaking to him and he was like, guys are taking stuff personal when somebody gets in your face and they say, hey man, you're not doing this well, you're not doing that well, we want you to make adjustments. And he would get some rebuttal. They would get rebuttals and people would say, hey man, don't talk to me in that way, yo, you know what I'm saying, be easy, how you talking to me like that. So with those type of things out there in the air, and understanding that some guys are still having a hard time adjusting to the, to the standards of play. Like I think that Panda's trying to articulate. Like some guys are having a hard time. Like, okay, how do you finish this play? You got to run all the way through. Maybe you're coming from your old team and it was enough to just, the play was over and you could just walk off and that was okay for you. But at this stage where we're trying to go to, you're going to have to run all the way through the play. You're going to have to run all the way through. And some guys are having a hard time accepting the fact that somebody's correcting them. And I was just I was listening to that and I was like, oh man, that's, what I'm saying? Like, so it's a growth period. Was that you, Phil?
Yeah, that was me. No, I just
What
have
would
a
you say?
point to that. Like I think it's a unique situation where, you know, Dion, Coach Prime, or whatever you want to call him, you know what I'm saying? Like the way he does
What do
things,
you want to call him? What do you
I've always
Man,
called him
don't call
Dion.
that don't call that man Dion, dog.
But hear me out though. I've
Phil,
always known
don't
him
do it.
as Dion.
Don't do
We're
it,
gonna
Phil.
call him Dion.
I'm from Georgia.
You be having
I
other people
remember.
thinking they can call him Dion, and then when we go to Boulder to go see a game, they gonna mess around and get slapped in the mouth.
Well, I mean, I'm not spending money to
you
go out
say
there to
Coach
see
Prime is
them,
going
but
to
I
slap
get
him
it.
for calling him Dion?
Who said you had to spend money, Phil? That's what Cash
Oh
App is
well.
for. That's what Cash App
Okay.
and donations are for.
Okay. Well, I'll take that. I receive that then. But no, but he the way he runs the team is very like old school, hard nosed, traditional. The way Bobby Bowden used to do things, the way Joe Paterno used to do things, the way Saban did things. But yet he also has the DJ in the locker room, the shades. You know, if you look good, you feel good. You feel good. You play good. They pay good. All that good stuff. And he's okay with getting a penalty if somebody needs to celebrate if they do something good. So it's just funny how like I wonder how he keeps that balance between the two because like I said, he's very old school with the way he stays on the players and he expects nothing but the best from them. But at the same time, it's a lot of new wave stuff going on. So I'm just trying to figure out should he just go all the way old school and
Phil,
get rid of some of this new stuff,
half the stuff
or
you're
No,
saying, Phil, is
but
not about on the field.
You know what I think? I think it has to do with respect. Coach Prime demands respect. And if you respect the man as coach, or you respect him as Dion, or just respect him as a man, and he's your coach, that to me that plays. I had a coach, man, when I was playing basketball. He smoked this. He smoked. He chewed this tobacco, Jack, and we'd be on the bus, and he'd spit it out the window. But he was a damn good coach. So I think at the end of the day, bro, I think it's respect. If you don't respect him as a man, you're not going to respect him as a coach. And Coach Dion has Coach Prime has a way of getting that message across from what I've seen. And we all watch the same video. From what I've seen, man, he has a way of reaching across. Yeah, he's hard nosed. Yeah, he's tough nosed. Yeah, he's old school. He'll tell you that. But he has a way of reaching these young men that's phenomenal. And and for the most part, if he didn't, the whole team would walk away. Wouldn't you agree? But you've got certain kids that have an issue with discipline. You're not my daddy. You don't tell me what to do. You get that kind of stuff. So,
Was that a Bishop Thomas impression?
huh? I'm sorry.
Was
Leave
that
my
a
boy Bishop out of it, man. Bishop a
was
good
that a
kid.
Bishop impression?
I didn't call no names.
Bishop a good kid.
I'm not calling any name, but everybody heard it. You're not my daddy. You don't tell me what to do. Whoa, where did that come from? I never told my coaches that. Never.
Tennis,
But
you from
a
a
lot of
different
our
era,
kids had
tennis.
issues. A lot of our kids had issues being disciplined, man. And that's what and so I love the fact about, you got a DJ there, sometimes you have two DJs. That's true. He's showing us that he's able to reach across. Now, some coach, Nick Saban, wouldn't do that because
But
Nick Saban
is it
don't
worth it
understand
though? Is
totally.
it worth it though?
Hey,
That's my question. Is it worth it?
Phil, let me answer you directly. Let me answer you simply and directly, okay, bro? Let me answer you simply and directly. It's sports entertainment. You can't separate the two. It's sports entertainment. So the sports side is old school. The entertainment side is new school. Sports is Mr. Deion Sanders. Entertainment is prime time.
Man, I just think Coach Prime broke one of Phil Cousin heart or something. He harboring some deep feelings, man. Because I don't understand
No,
how
and listen,
Phil.
I want to be clear though. I'm not saying either one is right or wrong. I'm just saying I want to know how does he try to balance the two because I try to remind people on here what what Colorado is doing is something that we've not seen before, for better or for worse. So I just want to know the mindset behind it. And maybe I need to buy his book. I don't know, but
Yeah, Phil, you
I
just
want to
hadn't
know
seen
how
it.
he balances the two.
You hadn't seen it to this extreme. You just hadn't seen it to this extreme. But sports entertainment, that's been there from day one. Since people they charged people for tickets, it became
But the
sports entertainment.
No, I understand that piece, but the entertainment portion was always the product on the field. Now he's bringing the entertainment into the locker room,
Yeah,
into the
but Phil,
pregame, into the
Okay, why did
postgame.
Bear Bryant have a
So,
stylist? The same style of hat and the jacket that was from a stylist that told him to help him with his image. That's the
okay,
entertainment part.
but I think to be fair, a coach having a stylist to have his houndstooth hat is a lot different than having a DJ in the locker room and having like your shades company give the team shades. And again, I'm not saying it's wrong. I just want to know
Phil.
his mindset. I just want to know what his thought
But
process
but
is.
it's, but it's
Wait,
an
wait, wait.
evolution. It's
Let me ask him a
2024, and if
question,
Bear
Phil.
Bryant was coaching in 2024, he probably doing that and then some.
Let me ask you a question, Phil.
Go for it.
What about the shades you were thinking affecting on the field? What about the music that you're thinking affecting on the field? Because I'm not sure if you ever been around any other sport and stuff. That is normal. I think what is not normal is that it's being filmed. Because if it's not playing, it everybody had earbuds in and all of that. So the idea that listening to music is new in practice is being facetious. One.
So, and I
Two,
can I can I can respect that, and I have an
two,
answer to that.
two, if I'm also trying to teach the kids how to become how to monetize their image, because I think what he also emphasizes NIL and collective. These projections on NIL is not cash. And I think that is now sinking in for some of them. These NIL projections aren't cash. It's the potential money you can make, right? That's what the evaluation is. And better yet, you are being in a situation where you are seeing business happening. And I'm teaching you life outside of football because we know it's about 5 of them, 5 to let's be generous and say 8 that is going to go pro. So we have to expand, and we're being extremely generous there, extremely.
Now, don't do that because you could be considered a hater
And
by
Who,
saying
who
that.
are the
No,
five?
no,
Who are the
no,
5 of the 8?
no. We could
Hey,
we
Phil.
could transfer that per program in D1. Every school, with the
Did you see how
exception
many
of
players that Florida
Alabama.
State had in that combine?
What's that?
Did you see how many players Florida State had in the combine?
And those were mostly transfer players, but we don't want to have that conversation, do we?
But hey, Phil. Here's what I've never seen before. I've never seen a spring game where there was a doggone fashion show. Who does that? You got a spring game. Get kids are playing in the spring game, but connected to it, you got a fashion show going on. Who heard of that? Who's ever
Right.
done it?
Tennis,
Nobody's
that's
ever
a
done
bad
anything
example.
like that.
Tennis, that's a
That's
No,
a
bad
but
distraction,
example.
brother.
That's
It's
a
a bad
bad
example,
Yo,
but it's
man,
an
don't.
but
We
we
was
were talking
going
about
good.
sports,
You
we're
just
talking
gave
about
Phil
sports
some
entertainment.
ammunition.
no, but
You
but no,
just
but my
trying to make Phil's point here.
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
but
that was
I
bad
want to
example.
That's a strong
Exactly.
distraction.
I want to drive home the fact. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm simply saying I want to know his mindset behind how does he lean into the new age way of doing stuff with the glitz and glamour and lean into the old school way of doing stuff because a lot of these younger cats can't get coached hard like he did coming up, like we did coming up, because obviously we're older than these cats that are in school. So I'm just trying to understand his mindset and how he balances the two. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
But
Fair.
That's
let
all
me
I'm
ask you
saying.
this. Let me ask you
Fair.
this. Does
Fair.
all the coaches across D1 have the same challenge within terms of, because let's think about it this way. When you like South mid Georgia to South where you at, right? There are
Hmm.
some kids that they are the one kid in the town. Like they're the
Yeah,
one. Like everything
yeah,
just open up for them. Let's be honest. There are some schools where it's like about 5. The whole squad is nice. But there are areas where they the one for the whole city. Like they've been spoiled and baby fed from since they were playing in you know what I'm saying? So that
yeah.
kid has a different experience coming into college. That's why back in the days, the development of 2 to 3 years would have made coaches like Saban and stuff like that easier thing to mold and craft the young man and the talent, right? But going forward with the transfer portal and that time invested in a kid that could leave after the spring game, that may never even because they have freedom now, especially with the new rule that they put. They could transfer and still play the same year.
Right.
We gotta
Yeah.
pay attention to the additions of the rules and things that is going on that affects the coach's ability to be effective. One of the reasons why we don't critique Prime as hard as he does, without the vibrato, we don't get the transfers to come.
True.
So, so
So
I got a question. Let me just put this question out there. Is all of that necessary? I'm just being that devil's advocate because obviously I'm a proponent. I'm on the side of Coach Prime being Coach Prime.
come away from the
Just let him
devil's
do
side,
him.
Harry. It don't look good on
No,
you.
I wanna ask to see what other people think. That's the reason why I'm asking. But I
I
like
mean,
I like Prime being Prime, and just do you until he starts winning. Then you'll quiet the questions that are in people's heads. Like, is that necessary? But I want to know to y'all football people that maybe don't know it or is new to you. Do you care either way? Is it all necessary And what do you think about it? Is it necessary at all? In the chat, I want people in the chat. If you are watching this after the live stream, which we got to end in a little bit because we're way over our time. But is this all necessary, or is it just part of Coach Prime, who he is? Would you just let it be, and once he starts winning, then you'll get over it? Is it necessary?
It's both, if you ask me. Dion gonna be Dion, Prime gonna be Prime regardless. And then two, how else are you gonna get people to come to a program that was 1-11? You know what I'm saying? You got to get them something
I
to
would call
hope
it a
for. You
dead
got to get them
program.
something to believe in. Yeah,
And
So
whatever you want to call it, you got to have something to make people want to come to it. So I think I think it got to happen, but I also think Dion was gonna be Dion regardless.
but
I
But
let me
agree.
let me
sprinkle
throw
a
this
little
in
on
before
that.
y'all. Hold on. Let me qualify. Let me throw another curve in there for y'all. Do y'all think that it's keeping other football heads away? Because somebody had articulated at a certain point where they said there's too much gimmicks over there. I don't want to go over there. I want to focus on. I want to be seriously a contender on a team that's focused only on football. Do y'all think is that is it keeping people away? You know what I'm saying?
They
Because
No,
have
we only getting one and
I don't,
done
I don't
players,
think
so
so.
we're getting guys
I
that
don't
kind of
think
like want to go out with a bang. Like if we're all the way, if we keep it all the way funky, we're getting a lot of one and done players and a lot of guys that are like trying to get their shine at the end of the day so that people can look at their tape, but we're not getting them fresh. So does that matter at a certain point?
I think,
no.
hey, Harry, I think that
Yeah.
you got to remember what Prime said. And I'm only going back
And
to what he
try to
said.
keep it under
If,
30 seconds, guys, so we can close out.
okay, if you want to go pro, this is where you want to be. So he's building an atmosphere over there to where it's like a pro-like atmosphere from your coaches to all of the activity. Look at what's going on around us, man. It's right there. So for those that just want the education, go somewhere else. You'll get a good education. And if you just want to play football and go straight to work, you can do that. For those that want to go to Colorado, get the shine, want to go pro, Colorado is the place to be.
Tennis channel, Colorado education is actually higher.
And look, you're getting a higher education. I
Okay.
agree, sir. You are so correct. You're correct on that.
So okay, so Panda, you want to? Is it necessary? Like what are your thoughts on that? Is it necessary? Will it keep some people away? Would it affect other people from coming here at an early point? Because I feel like those are
Well,
some of the things
we
that
had
have
an
been brought up
audio.
in conversations that we've had.
We had an audio from another coach that was using it as a recruiting tool, and there are some immature parents who like, I'll try to say it nicely, who like that Nick Saban it's polo shirt, clean cut, not doing anything out of the. You see what I'm saying? They
Mm-hmm.
contribute that to success. The problem with that is comparing that model to a model that is no longer existing. You hear Nebraska coach complaining. You hear several other programs complaining about what they have to deal with, and the fact that Nick Saban left also proves the fact that he don't think he could compete in the new cycle of things. So I think overall it is what it is. If I was to use Oregon give them a phenomenal package to come there to play. As far as the shoes, it's like a phenomenal difference as far as a recruiting tool, and they have a very strong brand recognition. Coach Brian, being part of Colorado, created the brand recognition to compete because if we say wins, Oregon never won nothing. And that's my 30 seconds. I'm proud of myself.
You really
Oregon
think
number
Oregon
one
never won
nothing is a
nothing
little
though?
doesn't it sound kind of
Yeah,
No,
crazy for you to
man,
say
come
Oregon
on.
never
harsh.
won nothing? Oregon have had a winning season for the past how long now?
And they did play in the national championship game. They made it to the playoffs before, and they had a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. So
They
yeah,
never lift the trophy is what I'm talking about. For the impact that program has. Let's be honest.
But they won the Pac-12 though, so like you can say they lifted a trophy though. If you're talking about a national championship, there are a select few that have been able to do it, and most of them
So
are in
you
the
are
South.
telling me that program is not on that level to lift the national championship trophy. Phil, take your time before you answer this.
Oregon is good enough to win a national championship. Yes, they have been in the mix frequently for
That
the
is
past
my
10, 15
point.
years.
That is my point. So compared to Colorado, they've been in the mix and they had more to offer out of the gate. The what Prime came in and just his presence and the little gimmicks that he was doing lifted the program. That was a
Oh,
one-wing
you just
program.
said gimmicks.
If
You gave it away.
if that's your point, I agree with you. But if that's your point, I agree with you. Dion was gonna be Dion regardless of the fact of where he was at, whether it was gonna be Jackson State, whether it was Alabama, whether it was Georgia, whether it was Colorado. But I also think that the gimmicks and the flash and everything else is going to help. And in some ways, it's the only thing you can offer to get kids to come to a 1-11 program. So it all
Correct.
worked it all worked in unison. We're in agreement on that.
And
So
Mark D,
nobody
we
feels
not
awkward
negative.
saying that's the only thing you can offer. Like nobody, there's no
At
pushback
this,
on
Uh,
that.
at,
oh,
What's it
at this
what you said?
moment, yeah.
What you said, Harry?
There's no pushback on saying when Phil says there's nothing else to offer but the gimmick. There's nothing.
No, but let's
That's
be
all we
honest,
can
right?
offer is the gimmicks.
No, but from coming from a 1-11 team, and you are telling parents, trust me with your kid's future. And as a parent, like if you ever took a kid, I was a stepdad. I had to get that kid back, man. That thing expensive, bro. Like like taking these kids on the circuit, paying for all them stuff, bro. And then you telling me your 1-11 team what my 320-pound son? It doesn't work like that. So yes, some of the things that coach did is
So what happened
naturally
to all the
coach.
gold jackets and all that other stuff? That now we're talking about. Oh, the gimmicks is necessary.
But
We
we're
needed
talking
the
about
gimmick?
what helped, though. It is a natural
Oh,
fact
okay.
that helped boost the conversation of the potential of the
Yeah.
program. I might even go further in saying this: his relationship with the guys on all the sports show programs also helped lift the conversation of Colorado, even though we didn't deserve it. And I'm gonna give Phil that because last season I was like, I don't care if Phil you wrong. We was lifted into the conversation higher than we probably should have.
But nobody knew how big that was going to be. That was like lightning in a bottle. That was that Linsanity situation with the New York Knicks. It's just one of those situations where it's like a special comet that only comes around every 1,000 years that you get a chance to see it. And now, instead of the gimmicks, I think Coach Prime can say, "Hey, listen, we're gonna have eyeballs on you." And guess what? Not just the players that are on Colorado, but whoever we're playing against, you're gonna have a chance to shine too. The
Hmm.
defensive guy from Colorado State, he got a chance to shine. You know what I'm saying? So like eyeballs are gonna be on Colorado, even if they're losing. And I think that
And
is
I
one thing that he can add to it outside of the extra gimmicks.
Let me ask this question I saw in the chat.
listen, I guarantee you that CU and Colorado is loving all that attention. Before Prime got there, nobody knew where Colorado was, who they were. Prime
Everybody
comes
answer
in
the
there.
question that
Now
that he pinned.
everybody knows, sir.
That question that he pinned. Everybody answer that question because it's a very
uh,
valid question.
okay, I've been ready to answer it, trying to hold on to my answer and not try to forget. So, so Harry.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, old football heads are scoffing and throwing up in their mouths, right? And they don't
Right.
want to. They don't want to see Prime have his effect on the game, on the college football, right? And the old head college football fans, those are the droves of haters you see. But the fact of the matter is, you talk about data, right? Because what we're seeing is that for all those old school heads and football minds and fans, right? They're outnumbered. They're outnumbered at least 10,000 to 1. So for every hater and scoffer, you have 10,000 new folks who probably never even paid attention to football, let alone college football. So it's a futile, you know, the antagonist position is just futile. CP is going to win in the end. Whether he wins on the field or not, or gets accolades for whatever his coaching prowess or not, you know, the blueprint is laid down. He got a proven blueprint that's laid down, proven to work, win the process, you know. And I'm almost want to feel sorry for the haters, but that's an overwhelming avalanche of new fans and movement of fans because again, I'm a University of Louisville Cardinal fan.
Okay.
So I'm splitting my fandom between the University of Louisville Cardinals and the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yo, don't we play them this season?
So between new fans and people splitting, you know, their admiration of the sport, it's CP is winning. He's going to continue to win. And the old heads just going to have to grind their teeth out and go get some dentures.
What will make you send your son in year 2? According to the question that's pinned.
I wouldn't send my son to Colorado after 2
Phil,
years.
we
'cause
know
I
that.
don't
We
know.
know. Phil, you
No, no,
don't
no.
count.
But can I explain why? May
Okay,
I?
go ahead.
Harry, may I explain why? Is that okay? I know we don't got a lot of time.
You said
but
you
can I
would not
explain why?
you would not send your son to Colorado. You said
I would not send him in year 2 or after 2 years because I don't know if Dion, Coach
I
Prime,
hope
is still
God
going
bless
to
you with
be
all
there.
girls.
Listen,
you
I
just
got
step on
one
the
son.
answer.
Listen, I got one son, and I ain't trying to have another one. He all I need. Trust me, he giving me all I can handle. No, but real quick, I don't know if Coach Prime is gonna be there after this year. If listen to me, if Florida has a bad year again this year, they will get rid of Billy Napier and they will give Dion all the money that he wants, and he will go to Florida and he will bring them back. That is what I think will happen. So I would not send my son to Colorado because I don't think Coach Prime is going to be there after this year.
But pushback, Phil. I mean, you can say that about any coach. You just said about Florida.
Okay,
So any
but the
coach
question was
could,
about
because
Dion, so I had to
right,
answer
because
Dion though.
okay.
I would if I had.
So Wild Dog, will you send your child to see you and why?
I would see my child. I would send my child to CU without prime because of the high level of education and standard they have there. So that is point one. Why someone should go to CU, regardless of what happens on the field, the level of high quality education that you receive. And then second, with not just Coach Prime, but let me speak about the coaching panel, and even with the coaches' changes, he's looking and implementing upgrades. We got another gold jacket coming. The amount of experience in college and NFL, I would
All
be
these go jackets.
that would motivate me to send my son to be coachable son to level up right in his skill set. And then on the third side, then I'll give that all to Prime because then I know my son is going to be seen and have exposure. I don't have to work as hard to get eyes on my son because the eyes are already going to be on him automatically. He just has to show up. So that's my 3 point. That's my 3 point emphasis. And never,
I
and then
think
also the chef too. That'll be point 4. Why I would send my son to see you.
You think if Coach Prime left, that
so.
the
Hold up,
shine
hold
will
up,
still be there?
hold on 1 second. Back on. I'm like, you can get development out of most of these schools. These are D1 schools we're talking about. These ain't no, what I'm saying, like JUCO schools. These are D1 schools that people are looking at. You know what I'm saying? So if you were to choose any of these schools, like that, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? Y'all really love these gold jackets. I push back on these gold jackets. Like these gold jackets are they're not they put them on and it gets sweaty. Like leave these gold jackets alone.
He
I'm
doesn't
only
have a
pushing
proven
back because
track
I feel
record
like
yet.
Why
But
you
Harry,
acting
Harry,
like
Harry,
ASU didn't
Harry,
happen,
we're going
Phil?
Harry, we're going to get you a gold jacket, man.
Phil,
Harry,
why you acting like
Harry,
ASU didn't happen?
Harry, you give these programs too much credit, man. These programs, these coaches, they're users. They really don't care about their players.
Everyone is a
I see
user.
what
They're
y'all
there.
trying to do, but
They're
Phil
there to
has
run they're
morality.
to run a program and win. They're there to run a program and win. And when you're done, thank you for your service. Goodbye.
Yeah, but that's every program. I don't know that
No, it's not. It's not every program. It's not every program.
So
Do you have
you're
a
thinking Coach
relationship with your
Prime,
coach still?
Okay, if
Coach Prime
you
isn't a
know,
user. Coach Prime is not using these kids to a certain extent as well.
no, I don't.
Yeah,
Think
but then he's also saying to you, this is what I can offer you. This is why you should come. That's why you said that question, why should we come? There's benefits. And then he even
Right.
brings in players who are injured or coming off of injury. What kind of coach brings in someone who's coming off of surgery or injured? What kind of program or coach does that?
That's
Those are the
actually a
players
good
you
point.
avoid. Those are the
That's a
players that
good
you
point.
avoid.
It's a very
Those are
good
the
So
players
he's
that other teams
so,
scrap out. That's
so
how we got Alton McCaskill away from Houston because
all
they
right.
were like, he done got banged up. He's used. Let's move
Good
on.
point. Good point.
Okay.
Good
All
point.
right. So look. So listen. I'll do you one. I'll do you one of this. Look at this list. You see this list?
Mhm.
This you don't think this is a good offer? Like if a school is offering this, you wouldn't take this as an offer? Hey, I can get you to the combine. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players that's coming from Florida State. That Florida State can say, hey, I watched TLP Sports Club, and they put up that graphic. We had 7 players in the combine, and if I was to count how many players Colorado has, is it 1 or 2? So is this not a good offer? Like you don't think like if you put this before any parent as a recruiter, you can't say this is a good offer?
Right, Harry, but remember this. That's why I said, Coach Prime in Colorado is in the process of building an NFL pipeline. And that people want to scoff at that. So, I mean,
No,
I
it
appreciate you giving me
like a hard
confirmation.
pushback. It wasn't a
No,
hard pushback. It was just a soft pushback on number 2. Not that I'm totally disagreeing with you. I agree with the points, but the idea of saying, "Oh wow, Colorado's the only school that can offer you something," I would look at it and say, "Dang, and an NFL contract or a potential NFL contract, it looks a lot better than one or 2 players that are at the combine that gets no TV time." Like
well,
the
I
Colorado
don't
kid,
understand why you're saying the only CU would be the only one to have something to offer. I don't know where that come from, but yeah.
no. I was talking about when you were articulating your points,
In your answer, you
why
kind
you
of
would
said that
say,
in your answer.
yeah, like you kind of said that in your point that you made as far as why you would send your kid there. Like it seemed as if like CE was the only one making offers. Like, and that point number 2 was, it kind of hit me a little bit like, wait a minute, what do you mean? Like you can get you can get a lot of good stuff from other schools. CU's not the only place.
Right. You
And
can get this here, you can get that there, but like every program wants to do, they want to optimize their offer. So that's why I hit on education, development, and exposure and
Oh yeah, I
nutrition.
didn't push back on that stuff. I
Because
thought that stuff
because
was
one school might only offer you, if you go to Harvard, well, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna shine as a football player, but that's pretty much all education is what they're offering you, right?
but
but
let's
In
why
that
let's
no
academic
the
environment.
pushback is
let,
this.
let-
Let me just articulate better the pushback. The pushback is, let's just say you were on this show and parents are listening and watching, right? And you're making an argument and you're saying these are the points where I would send my kids there and why. And then I'm like, well dang. Bang. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, strengthen your argument is what I'm trying to force you to do. Strengthen the argument so that if I was a parent listening and trying to understand why I should send my child to see you, just saying offers, it seems like this offer right here trumps what you're saying. Like I haven't even gone over to other schools. I'm just saying this alone just trumps everything you just said.
But then
Like, oh,
but then I like the way
I
the
can put up with what they,
But then I like the way the question was answered because it's year 2. So that's why the whole premise of I believe. So when
Okay.
they
You
when
agree?
families
Okay.
go
So
when families go to visit, they have a high rate of closing. Why is that? That's a fact. They have over a 90% rate of closing. When families come to visit, they close over 90%. Why is that?
And they're not spending the money like
And
Alabama and
why has players
Texas.
from Florida State flipped like Travis Hunter, Bishop, Florida State? I don't know who else have flipped from Florida State to CU with Coach Prime. Why is that? If if your list holds
well,
true, and I
Lundy,
feel like
well, Lundy went
some
back.
players should go
DJ
to
Lundy,
Florida State, but
DJ Lundy went back.
you know, but that's flip flopping. That's not even said and done. Even the players we got, if they haven't signed or this and that, nothing's set in stone.
We
But
don't
what's
know
done
until
is
the
done.
spring game.
But what's done is done. You can't undo Travis Hunter flipping from Florida State to Coach Prime.
But that's the point though. When he did the interview with 60 Minutes, he said, "Let's come on. Let's be real now. People didn't come to Colorado because of Colorado. They came to Colorado because of me. So all that extra stuff that you talking about really don't matter what Colorado got to offer because if a kid is going to Colorado, it's because Dion is there. And if I don't have the confidence that he will be there after this year, there's no point in my son committing to Colorado just to have to decommit and then maybe he might be interested in going where Dion is going to go. And if not, now he got to start the process all over again and figure out where he wants to go. I
So
wouldn't
you
want to put my child through that right now. And
so you
also,
think
Okay,
it's
it's
a
a
when it,
it's a
when
and
it, when it,
real quick, last point. I promise, last point. And also, it's a compliment because I think that means Colorado will be successful enough for Dion to get catapulted into a better job. So don't think I'm saying this from hate. I just want to be very clear about that.
okay, when is Shalimar's graduation date? Because he has a daughter in Colorado. So when
She
is
ain't she ain't she ain't
what
she
year is Shalimar's graduation date?
she ain't getting on the court, so I don't know how long she's gonna be playing basketball, but I think she got about 2 more years. So
So there's your
I'm
answer.
gonna say
You answered your own
2020.
question. You answered your own question. Because he hasn't gonna abandon his children. He's not gonna abandon
She
Shalimar.
she can just transfer though, because they still have the transfer rule, so she could just transfer a third time if she needed to. And who's to say that she wouldn't stay at Colorado?
And now it's a real rabbit hole. Thank you.
I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the
So let me
question.
ask
If
you.
if if
Let me
Dan is
ask.
successful
Let me.
enough this year and he has an offer from a
But
bigger
I'm
school,
saying
you say
now
he
we
wouldn't
dug a
take it?
rabbit hole. But I'm saying now we dug a rabbit hole. Now we've gone from rumor and subjugation to a straight up mythical creature.
I'm not talking about rumors. I'm simply saying I don't know if he's going to be there. So I
now
wouldn't want to
remember
send
he
my child
answering
there.
as a
That's it.
parent. We
Yeah,
both answering as parents.
So
exactly.
tennis channel.
So
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go to tennis channel. Let's wrap this up so that we can get other thoughts. I mean, it's obvious you're gonna send your child there because you love these warm and fluffy type of situations. So tell me why you would send your child there because I know you would.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to you,
If,
Willie. I
okay,
know
if
you're gonna
my
send your
son,
child to
if,
Dion. You love these warm and fuzzies. I want to hear how I want to I
okay,
want to hear
so
how you're gonna send
now
your
I'm
child and why.
warm and fuzzy. Now I'm warm and fuzzy. Okay, yeah.
Oh God.
Hey, listen, if I had a son eligible to go and he wanted to go to one of the better schools, and he wanted to play sports, and he had a desire, to go pro, and we all already know what the rate is of players making it to the NFL. But that was his desire. Uh, I wouldn't stand in his way, and I would definitely send him to CU. Number one, he's going to get a great, like Panda said, he's going to get a great education there. Mine's just going to be good. Number two, if he's got a good athlete and he wants to go pro, why not? I can't think of anyone better that then played the game, and might I say this, got a gold jacket, uh, to play the game, a great role model, um, you can't say anything about that. Great role model. I would send him to CU, and then that would be to say 2 years into school, because by that time he probably would have already decided what he wants to do with his life. And my support would be, hey, look, you want to go to Colorado, man, go.
The
Y'all gotta leave
question was,
this go
what
jacket
was
stuff.
your
Y'all gotta
pro?
leave that stuff.
What was your pro? You just gave us a very mild answer. What was the thing that is happening now that will make you send him? Not what he wants to do. You be ducking the questions, Dennis. I don't like it.
I ain't
Somebody said he's
ducking
a
no
politician.
question. You the one that ducking the question, because you ducked my question and you still end up answering it. I didn't want to tell you, but you still end up giving me the word I was looking for. I'll tell you about that another time. But no, what was the tail end of the question again? What did you say? I thought I answered it.
Is in year two, would you send your child after year 2? Would you send your child to Colorado?
What does Colorado have
And
to
and by
offer
the way,
after year
that
two?
was KMS's question. That was KMS's question. KMS 929's question. Would you send your after year 2? Would you send your child to Colorado? Why would you send your child to Colorado? Something
And
like that.
I answered it.
It
I
said
answered
what
it
they
at
have
the
to
tail
offer.
end. I answered it at the tail end. Number one, going to it again. If he wants to go pro, go to CU. I think for my son, that would be the thing that I would be that I would offer that he would be that would offer him the opportunity to go pro, because I already know he's going to get his education.
But have you?
Make sense?
Are you looking at the screen?
No, sir, I'm not. You want me to go back to the screen and look at the question or what?
No.
I'm looking at. Yeah, I am looking at the screen.
Oh,
So,
okay.
but what does
You
that
said
have to do
opportunity.
with my decision?
You said opportunity to go to pro, and I just like in a sly way pop this up on the screen just so you know. I mean, just so you can think a little bit about cornerback, running back, linebacker, cornerback, edge, tight end, defensive tackle.
And
If you
those are
want
all
to go
people
pro,
that ran the 40. There
Yeah.
could be people that didn't
Okay.
even run the 40 that was still from Florida State, so that number could be more.
right? So, if you want to go pro, that might be a school you might want to consider for your child.
Let's get him. Let's get him to run faster. Work on your speed.
I ain't talking about speed. I'm talking about this is a school right here that got a lot of players in that.
But I
This is
don't.
right here.
Hey. But hey, Harry, I don't like what Florida State did to Deion, Coach Sanders. I don't like what Florida State did to him. You know back in the days when he something happened and they started burning his jersey and stuff. Remember that? So I still got a bad taste in my mouth for that. Oh yeah, they burned this. They were burning 21, but look it up. It's on the internet. So I wouldn't send him to Florida State.
I mean, Coach kind of has piece to do with that because he said it wasn't his alma mater and he graduated from a HBCU. So we got to put it.
That's why he did that. Yes, sir.
We got to put it in context.
But that's why he went to an HBCU was because Florida State, he went for the job, they wouldn't accept him. He said, forget y'all. I put in all this time, worked my butt off, gave you guys the shine. Yeah, I got some shine, and you're gonna do me like this? My degree will say instead of Florida State, he could have easily gone to Florida State.
I would say this: Florida State is proof that Coach Prime model can work because they did the transfer heavy model. So if we are concerned about if the grad players and the senior players, if that model works, Florida is proof that it works. But to Phil's point, it is also proof that without a backup quarterback, I'm agreeing with him too. But without a backup quarterback,
you got one, brother.
I'm gonna stop. I ain't even gonna finish my statement. Next.
That's all I need to know.
Well,
Thank you. That's all I need
I
to
mean, at the
know.
end of the day, without a backup quarterback, we didn't really have a great backup quarterback either. So that was that. I didn't really get an opportunity to dig into that. That's one area that I think like CU can still fill in because we're putting all of our eggs again in Shadeur, and we saw how last year ended. So what happens when we get into a situation like we have a whole nother year, and we got to play CSU again, and they were gunning for Shadeur. Shadeur have set the target that we had last year. The target is getting bigger and bigger. You see what I'm saying? Because the money's there. The money's getting bigger. I think Shadeur's like NIL valuation is different now. So it's getting bigger and bigger. I don't know how the target and how people are going to, or what the NCAA is going to do for targeting, because I don't think that guy was even thrown out of the game. So I have no idea what's going to happen, but you got to, like, the wear and tear that happens on a person's body in this D1 space, you got to have the depth at that quarterback position. And we don't really have that much depth in that quarterback position. So if anything happens to Shadeur, does anybody know how much time you need for a back fracture to heal? Do we even know that? Do we even know if Shadeur is 1,000% healed? That can take a whole year. I mean, a whole another 12 games. Do we know?
They say he's pretty
Good
much
question.
healed now. They say he's pretty much healed now because he's throwing the ball, he's moving around.
Pretty much is not. It's not good enough for D1. Pretty much it's not, like, you gotta, because D1 is rigorous. D1 is like considered like the NFL. Pretty much it's like you're either here or you're not. If we're gonna say pretty much, it can take one hit. Do we remember?
But Harry, we can't say that. That boy been
Harry,
injured since.
I ain't there, Harry. I don't know.
That
But
boy
then
been
Harry- but then-
injured since
Speculate.
since
But then
that
Harry-
rival game against Colorado State. So
But then
when
Harry,
we
you
play out
kind
the
of
rest of the season, that boy coughed up blood. Let's not pretend like he wasn't hurt since then. It's just
but
that.
Harry. Oh,
Go ahead, dog.
but Harry, you kind of go back against your own question, because I mean, you could be 100% healthy in one hit. That's it. It's football,
That too.
But the fact that Shadeur, he said the only thing
injury, it makes it worse.
Shadeur said the only thing that's going to keep me off the field is a life-threatening condition, and the man did not lie. He proved his fortitude. And then as far as the quarterback room, I feel it's upgraded and it's competitive. So you got guys who actually had snaps in D1 football in the room aside from Shadeur. And then you've doubled the number of athletes who played quarterback before who would actually throw the ball. Y'all don't forget the pass that Jimmy Horn threw and that Travis Hunter can throw. You've doubled. You got Cam McHale now. You got guys who can throw. It's football. You got guys who can throw the ball. You got guys that can throw the ball.
This is not a committee situation. Stop.
In 2024, listen to me. In 2024, Shadeur won't be the only player to throw a touchdown pass.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Let's stop.
That's just
time out.
If he is, that's a problem.
What you don't know is everything, Harry. What you don't know is everything. What you don't know is everything, Harry. I was a lineman. I threw a touchdown pass in high school. You can't undo that. You can't undo that.
I would like to see video, Wild Dog.
Hold on. I've never claimed to know.
I'll send you a copy of the DHS tag.
Listen. I ain't claiming to know everything. I'm just asking the hard questions that we need to look at. So now we're claiming that a quarterback committee is a thing. Like, where we at? Are we, because we got Ryan Stubb and Coach Prime himself said we needed somebody who's seasoned. So where we coming from with, oh, now we got quarterbacks in the room where now Jimmy Horn's the quarterback? Why are we doing this?
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. You jumped to a conclusion. I said this.
Like dead bodies.
No, the first thing I said is that we have competition, real competition, with guys who have snaps in D1 football competing for the number 2 spot. And then I said furthermore, because I believe in athletes, that we've doubled the number of athletes who can pass the ball. So the passing threat is going to be off the chain.
Right there. We doubled the number of athletes that have arms.
That's 2 points, not one. Don't blend. Don't choose to blend the two. That's 2 different points. That's 2 different scenarios.
I'm taking that point where we doubled the number of athletes that got arms. Just that point. I'm not going in no further than that. Just that point.
Coach Prime played time at quarterback in high school.
So
he played wide receiver and cornerback in college. He played wide receiver, punt returner. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. And punt returner and kick returner in the NFL. I'm not living in fantasy land. This is reality. But if you want to go 12-0, if you want to win the college the championship, that's the kind of you got to optimize your opportunities and use the full breadth of the skill set of your players.
But hold on 1 second.
Schumer is no fool.
But
Schumer is no fool.
This is what we were saying before you made.
And it was under Schumer that Jimmy Horn threw that pass.
But wait, Wild Dog. This is what we were saying. We were saying as far as depth going into the playoffs, the reason why Florida State did not get the opportunity was they concluded the quality of play would not be the same without the quarterback. The reason why we comparing the two is that I said that the CU program could be successful because Florida State proven that the transfer players model worked. What Phil been saying earlier today was his one of the things he had a concern about was the depth at quarterback, and if Shadeur goes down, what will happen? Right? What you jumped in and said, you start naming other people who can throw the ball. That's why we start pushing back because we are now.
No, the first thing I said was competition for the number 2 spot.
Right, but what we are saying is, are they at a level to take you 4 quarters?
They're not.
I don't know that we have a starter. We have a.
But the only data I got is that they have snaps. That's all. I gave you the data that I have that we have guys competing for the number 2 spots who have legitimate snaps at D1 football. I can only give you the data that I've got.
Are they legitimate backups? Are they legitimate backups to take us the distance, like in the situation of a Florida State? Are they legitimate enough to take us the distance? It's just a real look at it. It's not saying Colorado.
We're not saying they can't throw the ball.
We are not saying do it. I'm just saying it's a legitimate question to take a look at a room. Don't be afraid to take a look behind the curtain. Do we have a legitimate starter if Shadeur goes down? Because Ryan Starr proved not to be that legitimate. He's a good backup, but
he was a freshman.
In a situation where somebody has to go to the locker room or they got hurt, they needed to take a shot. Maybe in a situation like that, but to take over the game like Shadeur, do we have a legitimate person? I'm not against the team. I don't want you to think that I'm against the team. I'm just taking a look, a realistic look.
That's the area of need. Point.
Well, I mean, people don't, for whatever reason, people don't like the 4-star Wade out of Kentucky. So everybody's knocking what we brought in already for the secondary QB for the strict. So everybody's knocking it.
I mean, I'm not knocking it, but they see a legitimate starter. It's the question. It's a legit question. Is he a legitimate starter? I don't know that he's a legit starter. I'm not.
We'll find out better in the spring game.
Huh?
We'll find out better in the spring game, but
that means we don't know now.
I would say when that quarterback was doing drills with Shadeur, he was not smooth and fluent enough for me to be like, we straight. We currently now, as a panel, we do not have the confidence. That's the point I think Phil was making. Collectively now, while the
point I want to make is Ohio State, Jameis Winston. No one believed in him until the quarterback went down. Then they were like, "Oh, we got us one."
Yeah. The same thing happened.
That's history. That's history. That's history. You can't undo that.
Nobody's saying it's not possible. If
that was to happen, guys, guess what? Somebody got to step up. So we either sub got to
Exactly.
step up, Taylor, or
Somebody,
Yeah,
Taylor.
we
just
know
like
that, but we don't know
our
who.
linebacker.
We know that, but we don't know who.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel we got two
Anyway, listen,
guys.
guys.
By the time the season starts, I feel we'll have two guys that can step up.
I would say
So,
this: we can
Panda, hold on.
compete.
Panda, hold on. Panda, hold
Mhm.
on. JR Boxing wants to join the conversation. I think he heard something that he finally wants to talk about. He's been waiting for a minute. JR Boxing, welcome to the show, man. Thank you for calling in.
Hey, what's going on, Harry B? Everybody else on the panel, what's going on?
All is
Personnel in the
good.
chat.
What's
all
up?
is well.
Yeah,
You want us to
I've been
jump?
listening.
You want us to jump you in like that, like the Crips and the Bloods?
Go ahead, man.
Do we have a
Go ahead. I'm
legit?
on my
Do we have a
toes. I'm
legit
ready.
backup quarterback?
A legit backup quarterback. You know what? I don't know enough about the young men that transferred in and during the transfer portal. I don't know enough about them to call them a legit backup. Do they meet measurables? Do they hit the height and weight requirements? Absolutely. So that's already a start in the right direction. But as far as their play on the field, I don't know enough about them. I know one young man came from Vanderbilt and the other one came from Kentucky. So two SEC programs, but they're more so like the bottom half of the SEC. When it comes to rankings as far as schools. So don't know enough. So if I were to pick yes or no, I would say no. We don't have enough to get where we're wanting to go as far as CU when it comes to like a playoff berth or something like that if Shadeur were to get hurt. But that's a big if. So
What we're saying is that ready to go now. We're not talking about
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the potential to step up. We're not talking about, because clearly they got scholarships because coaches looked at tapes and say they have something about them that they believe they can fit into the program. So
absolutely.
we are not looking at the kids and saying, oh no, they don't belong here. Clearly the staff and the support system believe that they can fit in. What will help is if we see every time Shadeur does reps, that everybody does reps so that they are ready to slide in if that unfortunate situation occurs. Now, I do want to push another direction. I saw the guys in the chat was talking about Weaver and him being drafted. If we are saying Coach Prime's relationships with the NFL is at an elite level, he has to place him. If he doesn't place him, it becomes problematic. Because we are saying that one of the reasons for kids to go there is Coach Prime, and he has these relationships. He used to
And
be
that
over the
gold
column
jacket.
with the gold jacket. He used to be the reporter for the comeback. So Weaver has shown that he has potential. He probably might need some development at the next level. But this is a opportunity to prove that, man, my relationship's really strong like that. Do me a solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Speaking of Weaver, if I would just pose this question, if he were to stay at USF, would he be considered draftable? So by aligning yourself or going to CU, he boosted his opportunity. He made, he made a name for himself. He boosted his opportunity. Because I didn't know of Weaver until he got to Colorado. I'm not a follower of USF football, but he maximized his opportunity. He definitely took a chance on himself and left a university where he was very comfortable. He could have stayed there, been the number one receiver, and rode off into the sunset. But he challenged himself. He wanted to make a name for himself, so he transferred to the University of Colorado and still became the number one receiver. So his talent, will speak for himself. Unfortunately, he didn't, participate in the combine due to injury. That's what's being reported, but he gave himself an opportunity. So whether he gets drafted or not, he'll be a undrafted, free agent, and he'll get a call. He'll make it to somebody camp, and that's all you can ask for. Get in somebody camp and, bet on yourself. So
So
that's
I
what the
guess
young
I
man gonna do.
got a question. I got this question for y'all, and we about to end the show soon. So I got a question for y'all, and we can end it here. What with the percentage of that you're talking about? He wasn't known before, and thank you to CT Glenn 1 in the chat. Been having some great conversations in the chat. But so the point that he was making is like the opportunity of Prime is okay. Most of the tape that they're gonna have to watch, unfortunately, is gonna come from a different school. But he got 1 year with Prime. So this is the question. We're renting a lot of guys, right? A lot of guys are using Prime for their last tape. Like, oh, I got pretty good tape, but I need people to see it, so I'm gonna go to Prime so that people can see my tape. Is this a dangerous place to be for Prime in Colorado? Or is it the reality that we have to face right now, and hopefully we can win to get us into a better place?
Okay, Weaver. Continuing on with that, Weaver, his father, he's pedigree. His father played in the NFL.
Okay.
So where would he have gotten his advice to make the transfer to CU football? Which lends into the other
Shaquille
topic.
O'Neal's son played. Shaquille O'Neal played in the NBA, and his son is where?
And where's his daughter? But that's a whole other conversation. That's a bad example. But
that's what I was trying to. That's
but
the point I'm trying to make.
But we're talking about Weaver pedigree. How did he get to CU? You know good and well he took his father's advice, and it's his pedigree. But more importantly, Coach Prime is giving him his pro days.
Okay. But didn't he know
that last part
before he went to where was he was at? But didn't he know Coach Prime before that also?
I don't believe.
I don't know. I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
All them Florida dudes run in the same circles. Yeah. It's like an additional fraternity.
Yeah,
so I don't know if the question was answered per se. I guess the idea is, I get it. The 1 year rental worked for him, so he listened to his dad. You're saying, our wild dog. But is this a dangerous place for us to be at, where we're getting 1 year rentals, where guys are using us, Prime's exposure, to come to further bolster their tape that they have from another school? Is this a dangerous place, or this is where we have to accept for now because of our situation of the 1-11 and everything else, Colorado not being on the map for anybody wanting to look around here? Is this just a place we have to accept now and just hope that these one and done guys can get us some wins so that we can get some guys that have a few years left under their belts? That's the question.
But Florida did it.
But that's
Florida
part of the
is proof that it works. That's the point.
That's part of the 40-40-20 principle. That's the fundamentals. That's part of the fundamentals of the 40-40-20 situation. And that you can, whether you come here for 3 years or 1 year, CU is going to be a pipeline to the NFL.
So, and how many receivers do we have in house? Okay, if Shepard, just say Shepard is the number one, Will Shepard's the number one next year. Well, he's got 1 year, but we still got 14 other wide receivers. So in that area, and these guys are good. I mean, so it's like, and they're gonna be playing, maybe some gonna be playing special teams, some gonna be, running kicks back and everything like that. So, but that also sets us of having experienced wide receivers if one leave, and plus, who knows who else Prime's gonna get. So I think it's a good, Harry, to answer your question, I think it's a good position. I think right now Colorado is doing what they have to do.
And to Harry's point, having that many wide receivers, because there's going to be guys who are going to leave after the spring game. Yeah. They're at CU for the exposure. Prime ain't no fool.
Yeah.
Our number one wide receiver at last year's spring game left. Weaver wasn't the number one. Our number one wide receiver left. That's just part of the game.
Yeah, he left, but he left for reasons that, I'm clearly speculating, but
we didn't miss him.
He wasn't
the
number one receiver. So
the point is, we didn't miss him. We still had depth at wide receiver.
Oh, absolutely. He wasn't missed, but even if he stayed on the team with the additions coming in, he probably wouldn't have seen a lot of the field. He didn't see a lot of the field of Arizona. But
No,
to
But I
but he
got to
went.
push
But
back
he
on
went
that though.
somewhere else and started,
I
didn't
got
he?
I
Didn't he
got
go to
pushback.
another
I got
school and
pushback
started?
on that. I got pushback on that because of my philosophy. My philosophy is that leadership matters, and where you play can make a difference in how you perform overall. So my pushback is, I believe under Coach Prime's leadership and the quarterback, the type of quarterback that we had, and the connection that they had, that chemistry that they had, I feel like he would have thrived if he had stayed. Because he didn't thrive under their leadership or under the team that they had, I feel like those guys already had some type of chemistry, and that's why he didn't do as much. But he did contribute to the team. But I feel like I don't think we can discredit what they would have had if he had stayed with Shadeur. I don't think
He should have
that's
stayed. And he
yeah.
told
If
Shadeur he
he
should
had
have
stayed,
stayed.
I think he would have thrived. He would have
now
thrived.
I
He
agree.
would have been the number one. I feel like he could have been the number one wide receiver if he had stayed, because they had a real good connection, and he was a pretty stocky wide
he
receiver, and he
he
could have done a
admitted to
lot of
Shadeur he should have stayed, Harry. He admitted to Shadeur he should have stayed.
Absolutely. I agree. Now, should he have stayed? Yes. But even before he left, he wasn't the number one receiver. Travis Hunter came in as being the number one receiver. So
Well, I got a different philosophy about that
as,
because
as
Travis is a utility player, so I don't think he should be in the depth chart.
he's a utility player, but you have to go with comfortability of the quarterback. So the quarterback's going to be comfortable with a guy he's played with at a previous location. So Travis,
Agreed,
yeah, but
agreed. You know,
Travis was going to
he
come
was
in and
getting he was getting real comfortable. He was getting real comfortable with Shadeur, though, man. Like that
he,
chemistry was something special. In
I,
that spring game, what they had in that spring game, that was special, man.
I agree wholeheartedly, but when you in the foxhole, you're gonna go with somebody you already know. You're gonna go with
right?
your wingman to your left
Yeah.
and to your right. And that wingman for Shadeur was Travis Hunter. So the
But
connection was already there. I mean, we saw it throughout the year. Whenever situations got tough, he looked for Travis Hunter almost to a fault where
To
we
a
were like,
fault.
man, you need
Yeah,
to start looking other places. You're just looking for
yeah.
Travis Hunter. But
right,
to answer your
Guys were
question,
open.
Harry, as far as do I feel that though it's CU's in a bad spot, I believe so. Because one, winning cures all. But if you're not winning, then what bonds and what trust do you have with people you just met? So, right now they're going through winter conditioning, and this is where you build the bonds and the trust and things like that. And that's great. And I hope that they stick to it. They were doing similar things last year. They didn't have the caliber of athletes to compete throughout the season, but they were doing the similar things last year, building the bond and the trust. But when things got tough, I'm sure fingers were pointed, words were said. You're not doing this. You're not doing this. What about this player? What about this? And we saw sprinkles of that throughout the season. You saw Smoke sending out tweets. You saw the other guy was Willie Gaines. He sent out tweets. You just seen what's his name? Tavares Dawson. He sent out a tweet. So you would see things like that, chinks in the
Mm-hmm.
armor, because you have mercenaries coming in. Look, man, I got to put something on tape because I'm trying to get to the next level. So you utilize the opportunity to, springboard yourself. But at the same time, if it's not controlled, if you're not winning, winning cures all. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
cares if you're winning because my opportunity goes up when you're winning. But if we're losing, I'm not trying to hear that. It's nothing you're going to say to me while we're losing. And that's when bonds break down. So
yeah,
Yeah, because
you
guys are
hope,
playing selfish ball.
yeah,
What Smoke said. There's a lot of selfish ball because you have a bunch of guys that are trying to bolster their tape from other universities, and this is
yeah,
their final opportunity. Where you got Prime, who is he got the light over here. So you have an opportunity now to say, "Hey, man, I got 3 years of tape or 4 years of tape. I just need Prime to just put the icing on the cake." So
yep,
I'm coming over here, and I got to be a little selfish because I got serious business to handle in the NFL. And a lot of these guys, they already know who's the dogs on that team. A
yep.
lot of the real dogs, they know who's playing around and who's not really about that life.
right.
So they're probably going to ignore these other jokers and play some selfish ball.
Yep.
But we're getting better in the process, and we're recruiting to know who's going to be a fit or not.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know,
Now that I agree
Yeah.
with 100%. Waldo, the athletes that they have brought in are 5 to 6 times better than the athletes that left out. That's for sure.
exactly,
So all
that
you
right
want to
there.
do is you want to come to the game looking the part. That's the first rule of sports. You want to come to the game looking the part. Measurable size, speed. You want to come to the party with that. If you're
Hey,
coming lacking that, you're already behind the 8 ball. And that's
hey,
what
and all
US
this,
was last
and,
year.
and like Harry was talking about Coach Mo speaking on this and that and players' attitudes. It's like, hey, that spring training up on the web for everybody to see. That's a gut check right there.
Yep.
Oh, that ain't for me, dog. Well, you want to scare them off. If you're gonna be scared of that, don't even. You're not even gonna look over here. You know what I'm saying? That's an automatic filter. Why they put that out there? They're scaring the good folks away. Good. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know?
But I
Yeah.
will say, because I'm pretty sure, Coach Prime or somebody within that organization, they watch all these platforms and they listen to all the great YouTubers that make content for them. What I will say is, hey, Coach Prime, hey, it's a fool me once type of thing. So you've seen it last year. You got players in, and you knew you were at a deficit, and when things went wrong, you got to identify that again. So when it comes, because it's gonna rear its head again,
Yeah.
you're not gonna go undefeated. So when that opportunity comes to steer the ship and keep it, going in the right course, whether it's a player or whether it's the coaching staff or whoever, just make sure they keep moving that thing in the right direction and don't let it
Hey,
go, to the
but
side.
that's why we got 12 plus in the wide receiver room.
Yep.
The
So
fallout is expected.
So that's all I'm hoping for. It's a fool me once kind of thing, but you don't get
Yes,
fooled
sir.
again by the same situation, because you're bringing in
So
not the same amount of transfers, but you're bringing in a lot of transfers. We don't want the same situations to occur again, because you could be in a
so
similar situation.
I feel the same about this young guy that Coach Prime is bringing in. I feel uneasy because of what happened with Sean Lewis, because you know what I'm saying, like what Coach Prime was like. Well, we knew he was, he wanted to coach, he wanted a head coach position. Do we know anything about this new guy? What he wants to do as far as a head coach? Because are we renting him as well? Because we can't keep getting rid of the daggone coaches. Like the OC and the DC can't keep leaving, because that's the part of the culture where your guys are there. They're going to implement what they have.
Hey, Harry B, it sound like you losing sleep, dog.
Every,
Yeah,
hey,
you know
every,
what I'm saying?
You
Harry,
you
you're
losing sleep
absolutely
like me,
right.
dog. You losing sleep like me too.
hey,
Yo,
Harry,
you
Harry,
gotta, it's something you gotta think about, because at the end of the day, you get that hole in your chest from the Sean Lewis situation, because we knew he wasn't going to stick around. But whatever transpired and whatever happened, whatever was the breakdown, he couldn't handle the pressures and everything. Now he's gone. We lost the OC and the DC. I don't know too many teams that lose the OC and the DC, and they have to keep switching cultures every year. And it's another
here's,
thing that
here's
you got
what,
to think
Harry,
about.
Harry, here's why I sleep good. I'll sleep good at night on the defensive guy. I'll sleep good because number one, yeah, okay, he's young, but they say the word is the guy is very smart and very intelligent. Okay, smart and
That's the
intelligent.
same
You
thing
put
they
those
said
two
about
things
Sean
together,
Lewis.
he may be. Well, I don't know, Sean. I'm not gonna compare him with Sean Lewis. If I do that,
Sean Lewis is
then
smarter than him. Sean Lewis was
huh?
actually smarter than him and had a better resume than him.
We don't know that. Do you know
We
that
know
for
that
sure?
because Sean
That
Lewis was
he's
a head
smarter
coach.
than him.
Yeah, I will say the resume was better,
Yeah.
but as
But
far as
Sean,
being
Sean Lewis
again,
had a better resume.
college, because y'all favor y'all bias towards college experience. It is what it is, and there's no problem with that.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
I
know if
mean,
Yeah,
I
this
want to
guy
say
was
biased.
in the
Sean
pros.
Lewis' coaching
He was,
pedigree was a
he
little
was,
bit
he
longer
was.
too,
This
but
guy was in the pros, man, and he learned something. He's very smart. And this came from another level. This didn't come from the college level. This guy comes into a college scene, getting good resumes or good recommendations out of the pro level. He's intelligent and he's smart. So this college stuff gonna be a cakewalk for him, I would think. And that's me
wow,
saying.
whoa, I got a little pushback.
But
That wasn't
Harry,
a cakewalk.
but Harry,
You are walking a
but
dangerous line right now.
but 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 Harry, resumes aside, what I know, this life is about relationships, and this move was about relationships.
Yep.
Do you trust Prime or not? Do you trust people's relationships or not?
Yep.
Okay, because it is no consequence. It is no coincidence that Coach Prime's guy Zimmer is the new DC. We were in the middle of a live when I saw the article. Zimmer is the new DC at the Cowboys, and his protege Livingston is now the new DC at CU.
Yep.
It's about relationships. Do you trust Coach Prime? Do you trust Zimmer?
Oh yeah, we're all in love.
And Livingston is here, regardless of his experience, regardless of where he comes from, regardless of his resume. It's about relationships. Do you trust Coach Prime? Do you trust Mike Zimmer? That's getting loaded on you.
Yeah.
I can't dismiss Coach Prime. I can't dismiss Mike Zimmer and his protege Livingston coming, and then everything his players, former players, and the people he's coached with and he's coached against, all got nothing but glorious things to say about him. And you know, there's people out there to get paid to dig up dirt on you.
Absolutely.
So listen,
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
not
mention that as well.
I'm not discounting any of that. The like what Alfaru says, the warm and fuzzies. I'm not discounting none of that. The relationships, all of the different things that you can read, the third eye stuff, the sixth eye stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like you can read into all of that, how relationships are going to turn into wins and W's, and all of that is great. But that's all good. I'm not discounting none of that. All I'm saying is these questions we discuss because we want to understand how this is going to translate into taking us into that future where we are hoisting a trophy, whether it's the Sugar Bowl trophy or the whatever bowl that we end up in, we're holding up a trophy. So if all of these things translate into that, then okay, I would say that's great. But I don't want to come back to this question at the end of the season, and then I don't want Wild Dog to be losing sleep at the end of the day, and then we say, well, then I'm going to start asking Wild Dog, what happened to that relationship thing again? You said I'm going to say JR Boxing. Hey man, remember you was feeling this way about that? You always say this about, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want these soft, fuzzy things that we're saying. I don't want it. I want that energy to stay the same at the end of the season because all of that stuff matters. But what are we going to say if it doesn't translate into the W's? Then we come back to this same question and have another live. And then what would your say then? What would then be the conversation?
Yeah,
But I don't feel the new DC is that I don't give that much crucial stance on the DC because it's coaching by committee, it's coaching by panel. You know, if I'm gonna lose sleep, it's gonna be over player leadership, and I've spearheaded that for last year and going into 2024. I'm all about focusing on the player leadership. The leadership from the player standpoint has to be there to avoid stupid penalties, to avoid lackluster play, to avoid a fall off when one man goes down in the death. You got to have player leadership. That's my number one focus. That's my number one thing. If I say, oh, we finally got us a team captain on the defensive side and he falters, that's where I'll be calling myself out and be like, oh man, what did I miss? But if the DC is one and done, I'm cool with it. If Shermer does one full year as OC and leaves, I'm cool with that. That's football business.
Harry, you asked for a good question.
Yeah,
the
players only
OC
good as the personnel that coach.
Me.
That's what I'm gonna say.
Huh?
Players are only good as the personnel that coach them.
Harry, you asked a good question. You said, "What if?" My mom asked me a question when the R asked her a question, or we got into this conversation. Now she's passed right now, but what if the frog had wings? He would fly, right? I'll answer it for you. He would fly. So what's the probability of a damn frog having wings?
What if you went 4-8 last year?
There
Exactly
are
right.
frogs with wings. There are frogs that can glide. Tree frogs with gliders. So yeah, frogs do have wings.
I agree partially with what Wall Dog was saying as far as
Yeah.
relationships go. I agree with that because one, as far as a head coach, you got to trust your staff. So trusting in your staff, that's what you need. As far as Coach Prime trusting in the staff completely. Last year, he didn't really know Sean Lewis. I mean, he hired him, but he didn't know him. I don't know what recommendation he came from. I don't know what how the coaching search went and stuff like that. But obviously the trust, it fell apart. As far as you can see it, as far as the demotion that he received, you're going from offensive
Well,
coordinator, now you're co-offensive coordinator, and you kind
well
of
just
bring
to
in
rem-
Pat
well,
Shermer, somebody you trust, to try to build your program or build your offense at least back up. And then
well, yeah,
for
oh,
the guy Livingston, look, man, it's going to be a huge coaching curve. As far as how is he going to call plays? Is he calling from the sideline? Is he going to call in the booth? That is a huge coaching curve. The level of athlete that you're dealing with in the NFL, you're dealing with professionals here. I mean, they're considered professionals in college, but it's still amateur. It's still a lot to be taught, right? So that's a huge coaching curve. And then learning the people that are underneath you. I mean, this is his first time being a leader, the defensive coordinator. This is his first time leading, right?
Yeah.
So he's used to leading players, but this is his first time leading other coaches. So that's the difference. And you probably got some strong personalities in there with the Coach Harts and the Coach
But don't
Danceys
tell
and
that to the
Coach
fans, though. You
Sapps
can't
and
say that to the fans.
so those are some strong personalities. So when a pressure situation or pressure moment comes, a lot of people are going to have to swallow their pride, check their egos at the door, and understand his duty title is, puts him in a position where he's going to be able to make the call and make the adjustment. And you got to live and die with that. All right. And you go back to the drawing board after the fact. But I think a little bit of what happened last year, and this is my speculation. I believe that some of the coaches that were brought in already with Coach Prime that were hired before the main defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator was brought in, as far as respecting all the way through, right? Coach Prime can have respect, but if the personnel under don't have the respect for the second and third in charge, then everything else goes out the window.
Yeah.
well, let me
When
remind
it's
everybody.
10 on the 12 men
Let
on
me
the field, that wasn't on a defensive coordinator. That was on a linebacker coach that was making the substitution that the defensive coordinator was, so a lot of that goes into, it's a pull and push type of thing. So the
that part.
respect has to go all the way down,
And
so
and just to remind everybody, you know, Sean Lewis was not Coach Prime's first choice, right? They had been months in the process, but then Coach Prime's guy ended up taking the head coaching job as Arizona State. So the guy that Coach Prime was looking at to be his OC for year one ended
He's
up
still
being
is.
hired as the head coach, yes, at Arizona State University. So let's not
Can
get
can
let's not let's not
pu-
yeah
push
let's
back,
not get it twisted.
push back,
But yeah,
push back,
but
wild
yeah, but
dog. This guy's not number one either.
and then Kelly did us a favor coming in. So this progression of what he's doing, people want to read into it or whatever, but Kelly coming in as DC was a favor.
I mean, you mean OC, but keep in mind that
So
Livingston is also not
no,
number one.
Kelly at DC. Kelly was going to
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on, period, eventually.
absolutely.
That's what I'm saying to you. They both, whoever he hired, whoever Coach Prime hired, was going to be moving on for other opportunities, period. That's what I'm trying to express. It's just the business of football.
Oh, absolutely,
But
yeah. Coaches
but
move around a
if
lot.
you listen to what you're saying, the number one factor, your boy Livingston is not a number one either. He's not the first choice either.
Mike Zimmer was.
Yeah,
So
I
if the
believe
number
that.
one
I
choice
believe
is the
that's who
guy,
Coach Prime wanted, but
if he's not number one either, then doesn't that play into the same scenario that we're talking about right now?
absolutely. That's why I say it has to
Not,
be a respect factor all the way up and down the chain, from Coach
but it,
Prime to
but again,
Sherman
the
to
relationship,
Livingston,
because
and
if
those.
your number one choice is Mike Zimmer, but then you move him into a better position for himself, and then one of his proteges, comes to your team. That's a total different scenario.
Uh,
I
for
don't know
You
about
want
that,
you
man.
want it you want it to be a straight line, but it's not. That's a totally different scenario on how you're bringing somebody in, utilizing your relationships. So not only you analyze it, but someone you have full faith in, your number one choice. But then let me bring you one of my guys, one of my proteges, who's like a Mike Zimmer 2.0.
Mm. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a little sketchy.
yeah, that's
But
a
you know
little
what?
tough.
Yeah, that one's a little tough to swallow. But hey, listen, man, we can't beat the guy up until we give him a chance. I will
Absolutely.
say this though,
Yeah.
before I give you guys your final say for today. I will say this, dude. Though there's a point that somebody made a couple of shows ago that this guy, how is he going to deal with alpha males when they start doing this? When alpha males are when they have those tough moments, how is he going to do this? And I think it was Lamani, not Lamanius Craig, but I think it was the one of the safeties. He had an interview on one of these shows,
Silman
and he
Craig.
literally Silman Craig. He literally called this guy a boy. He's like, he literally called this guy a boy. I don't know if you guys remember the interview that he had. I don't know if it was DMVR Buffs. He called him a boy. So on that
Yeah, but
premise, right, we got to end this show because it's over. It's 10 o'clock now. I got to end. On that premise, when you look at this, and this guy being as young as he's young, and you got all of these alpha males, Coach Prime and Shermer, and all of these people are in this room, and you got this boy in that room. This is not my words, right? Silman Craig's word. You got this boy in this room. How does he deal with the pressures that Sean Lewis could not overcome? This is the last question. And Tennis Channel, you can take it first.
I think that I heard the same interview. I think it was taken totally out of context and the way that we're thinking he said it. He didn't mean it. I know what
This is
everybody
not
heard. I
malicious.
heard
It's
the
just
same
it was
thing.
just it was one of those things called Freudian slips where
It,
he's young, right? He's young and he's
and
young.
that's what he was.
It wasn't it
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
it
what.
wasn't malicious. It wasn't malicious, but I'm using that to premise this. When alpha male starts to bump heads, and you had Sean Lewis, whose resume was a little, more boaster. When you get a situation in that, how did this boy? I'm just using that facetiously, whatever. Right? How does this boy handle the situations that Sean Lewis could not handle?
Well, I would think his manhood is gonna outweigh the boy. You know what we have to do with this, Harry? Let's just wait and see, because everybody's got their own opinion about it. I'm not going to even put an opinion on that. I'm going to say with it, my answer is going to be let's just wait and see, because
All right, so that's
we
your
all got doubts about the defensive guys. Everybody blah 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 blah. Okay, all we got to do is just wait and see. Like I
all
said,
right. So let
I
me get
think it was
JR
taken
Boxing
out of
to give
context.
me his opinion.
Huh?
Yeah,
All right.
well,
So
Yeah.
tennis says Willie said wait and see. What do you say?
nah, for me, man, hey, you got to go in and you got to establish who you are. And, as far as Livingston, you got to go in there and establish who you are. Hey, this is what I bring to the table, and this is what I'm going to bring to the team to put you in the best situation as players and coaches to be successful. And that's the mindset you have to go in there. You have to go in there and know, hey man, this is my job, and I am here to make everyone under my wing, under my leadership, under my circle, under my bubble, whatever. I'm here to make you all better. I'm here to better the situation. So through coaching, through how they go and watch film, how they understand coverages, everything, man. He is there to make the situation better. So you go in and
So
that
you
and
think
that is
he's gonna hold his own as far as the alpha
absolutely.
what is it called? The
Absolutely.
alpha buffalo bump, hair bump. He's gonna hold his
Absolutely.
own.
Absolutely. The only
Jimmy
way
Rizzo, I'm sorry,
to
one second, Jr. Jimmy Rizzo, the show is done. I'm gonna post the link, but don't call in because we're pretty much wrapping up the show. So just call in on either on Friday or next Monday night. But
but
go ahead, finish your thought on Jr.
I would say absolutely, man. The only way to swim with sharks is to be a shark yourself, right? So you're not gonna get in the pool if you're not a shark. So you got to
Yeah.
have that shark mentality, man. We here to work. We're here to get better, and I'm here to lead. I've been hired in this position to lead the defense, and I'm here to lead. He's also there to learn too. I mean, not saying that he cannot learn from the coaches and the players, but no, I'm here to lead. I can lead and learn at the same time. So that's what he has to go in and do.
That's what's up. All right, so Wild Dog. Before we get final thoughts, your answer to that question when the buffaloes start to bump head and the alpha males are barking or whatever buffaloes do when they get angry, how
Yeah,
does
when the
Livingston hold it?
when the coach's room catches fire and the paint is peeling, you know, and the dogs start barking and biting and scratching. I understand where you're coming at with this, and I'm going to double down on the whole relationship thing. The man is under Coach Prime's wing. Coach Prime is going to make sure he's straight, make sure he's properly mentored, and protect the man. And when it's all said, the bottom line, when if all hell breaks loose, that's where you'll find Livingston under Coach Prime's wing. I'm doubling down on the whole relationship thing and its importance.
Okay, so he's going to be fine. This is a guy that's coming under Coach Prime, and he understands his place and his position, and he ain't going to be no issue. He ain't going to be no Sean Lewis situation. He ain't. First of all, he's not going to come across my prophetic gift where I'm going to have to in week number 3 start prophesying and saying something's up. He ain't gonna. That my radar is not going to go off this season, right? Right, Raw Dog. My radar's not going to go off this year, right?
No. And then the fact of the matter that through Coach Prime's mentors and his self-analysis, he is going to be far more involved. So you wanting a seasoned DC, they were gonna bump heads with Coach Prime this season. Coach Prime taking on Mike Zimmer's protege is what CU needed. I know everybody has their expectations, but it's what's going to fit. What do we need? Coach Prime's like, if I'm going to be way more involved, then I'll need to be butting heads on the sideline with my DC or my OC for that matter, right? And then let me remind everybody, because there's too many people knocking Coach Prime's ability to coach. Coach Prime does not need anybody to make calls. Coach Prime has experience making calls as an OC. Coach Prime can make the calls as a DC. He doesn't need anybody to make the calls.
All right. So, but you promise?
Hey, what does the Bible say about that? You messing with my faith. Wait a minute. What does the Bible say about that? You are making me uncomfortable in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now I won't be able to sleep because a message is going to come to me and be like, why did you swear? Why did you put your soul in your
Wild Dog the victim? I never thought I'd see the day on the TLP live.
Hey, Wild Dog, if anybody knows where I'm going with this and why, it's because of Sean Lewis. It's you. You understand where I'm doing this because
I'll promise you it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I mean, listen, I'm bullish. I'm bullish on this guy. Like I said, when I said I was settled with this guy, I got out all of my stuff that I had. And now I'm just gonna sit back and let this guy and just let him work. My grace is now sufficient for him. Okay, if I may, my grace is now sufficient for him, and I'm just gonna sit back and just let him cook. Let him do whatever he's gonna do. Win, lose, or draw, I'm now settled in, and I'm ready for him to do what he does. So I have no other qualms about him. I just want to make sure that everybody understands. And yeah, so that's where we at. So Tennis Channel, I'm going to start with you, man. We are 2 hours. We are 2 hours and 21 minutes over the time that was allotted for this show. My wife, my producer,
It's Panda's fault. It's Panda's fault.
Hey man, Panda already knows. My executive producer, my wife, is already giving me the looks. So, Tennis Channel, what are your final thoughts on today's show, which was mainly about understanding the places that Colorado needs to adjust? What are your final thoughts, man?
Been the best 2 hours of my life, Harry. You know, anytime I spend 2 hours with Harry
Wow.
B, man, it's a great day. My last words will be this, man. Somebody made reference to, well, what happens when the alpha dogs butt heads? I'm gonna say like Prime, keep the main thing, and I'm gonna add to that, just stay focused, because remember, the journey is very good, but the prize is at the end of the thing. There is we want to win a championship, be that a bowl game or be in line for the champion, for the big dance. So stay focused, keep the main thing the main thing. That's simple and easy.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, you got some words there. I see you. Tennis, getting your TV words and everything together, concise and precise.
You ain't heard nothing yet, brother. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Uh-oh. Wild Dog, my guy. What are your final thoughts on today's show about CU's host to fail? Pun intended.
Okay. On a positive note here, I just want to, express that what I saw, the comments from Coach Mo, and it was doubled down by his assistant on strength and conditioning, that it's already the beginning of March. And the players, they have certified that the team is in shape. The team is in shape already. And they enter the next phase. They enter the next phase early, not prematurely, but early, because the team is officially certified in shape. That's great news. Okay.
That is great news. That's an early achievement, and that's most of the starters, by the way.
Yes, and then to wrap it up, Sap is landing any day, and I believe he's already there. But I mean, in the program, any day Sap is going to land.
Okay. All right. I like what you just added there. That little chunk of nuggets, that little data. I see you, man. You know the heart of the show, the data show. I should just change the whole name to the data show. We deal with data.
Right.
So, the state of the union of the team is that we are in shape. That's a whole video by itself. We are in shape. So that the state of the team is we're in shape and we're moving on. We're entering the next phase. Do we know what the next phase is?
A mental focus and discipline. So it's all, mind games and mind control now.
Panda was talking about, all that stuff that Panda was talking about, we about 100%. To get to that stage.
100%. You start separating the men from the boys. You start separating the men from the boys now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's some positive stuff. So we're entering the next stage. We are now in shape. We are not throwing up anymore. The altitude is all good. We adjusted. Our lungs are all good. And we are moving on to the next phase of the process. Man, that's some good stuff. JR Boxing, man, what are your final thoughts on today's show of the holes that CU needs to fill?
There's always room to improve. If you're not looking to improve your roster constantly, then, what are you doing as a coach, right? But the program, Coach Prime has a program going in the right direction by influx of talent, influx of measurables brought into the program. He's already got he has the ship going in the right direction. Now it's just keeping the ship in the right direction, right? So hopefully you don't lose players to injury as you get into spring ball, but attrition rate. You just want to keep the attrition rate high and get the young men to the beginning of the season as healthy as possible. Because once you start studying, and once you start hitting in pads, you're no longer 100%. All right. So keep the attrition rate high. Keep those young men focused and steer the ship. But CU is ahead of schedule, and I like the direction that they're going.
Yeah.
I like it, and I like it for one good reason. For one reason, and I'm gonna say it again. I said it in the show, but the fact that a lot of the guys that are going to probably be our starters and our backups are actually at that location. They're in Boulder and they're talking. They're getting to know each other's temperature. They're understanding each selves. They know who the jokers are. And I'll tell you a quick story, and I end with this. When I got to my school, in my high school, and I decided to play football because I was quick. I was from Africa. I had a lot of muscles. I wasn't a football player. I was a soccer player, but I wasn't necessarily, just that guy, right? I have my helmet on and I'm jovial. I'm at this point in my life, I'm kind of like the Joker. You know what I'm saying? One of the dogs on the team looks at me and he took it a little bit more serious than I was. And I'm like, I'm from Africa. We have a different way of thinking. Our mentality is like, okay, sports is sports. This is not that serious. Like, my man, go do your homework, study to show yourself approved, and do all these great things. And that's what life is about. So my mentality is that like sports is just something you're playing around. Okay. This kid looks at me and he's like, bro, you a clown, bro. You're not really like, we're taking this stuff seriously and you over here clowning around. I'm joking and my helmet is bouncing off my head and I'm just like, what is this nonsense we're doing here? Right? So I say that to say that there's a lot of young men on that field that already figured out their journey. They already know that they're going to be locked in to CU Buff, and they're already saying that they're going to win. We're going to win the conference. That's positive to me. And then we just learned that they're in shape now and they're ready to go. They're ready to go to that next phase. They know who the jokers are. They know who the Harry B's are. They've already decided you're a joker. You're not going to be that guy. Da, 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 da. They know who their core group and their core starting team is. That's exciting Colorado football news for me. And this is just information that I'm deciphering in between videos from the Reach the People, from the Well-Off Media, Uncle Neely. Some things that I'm picking up in my spirit as well. I feel good about this team. I feel good. What Willie said earlier, Surfer Guy, we're ending the show. Thank you for coming in late. So what Willie said earlier, the mentality is different. I feel different. It feels different in that room. And I feel like the spring game, they might need to add a couple more guys, but I think those guys are going to be utility guys, and it ain't going to matter as much because we're going to go deep into the playoffs. So I feel good about this team, guys. I don't want you to please don't forget that we do have a membership now. It's that little join button that's on your screen, or it's on your screen on your phone somewhere. You click it. I have a lot of good perks on there, and there's a lot of things that I got to offer. So I really want to appreciate JR Boxing, Wild Dog, the dancer, if you didn't know, Tennis Channel, the swinger, Panda, all my guests, Phil So Real, the guys that couldn't make it on the show that sent in a request, Surfer Guy, Peter Investor, Chris Glenn, everyone. I want to thank you, KMS 929, always keeping us honest in the chat. You know what I'm saying? It's not the everything is not so great guy, but he keeps it real. Jimmy Rizzle. I want to thank everybody for joining the Tonight Show. I tried it for Monday night. I think we're going to continue. I think it was a pretty successful show. You know what I'm saying? So I will see y'all on next Monday. But don't forget Friday, guys. Friday is doing the day. Friday is on the day. So I'll see y'all on Friday, guys. Good night. Thank you for being a part of the show tonight. Good night.
All right, Harry.
All right.
Blessings.
Salute to everyone. Peace out.